For the SpaceBroShow. That's right, with that super appendix, amazing guestarinos. The Few. The doctor himself, Dr. Drones, is back. And the late night sensation, Mr. Toy Grubbin. And I'm here too. And all together, we are the SpaceBros. We're here to entertain you.
There he is.
What's up, guys? I tried to get your green screen while we were in between.
heard.
I was working it, and I was like, nah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So,
oh man. Well, it worked relatively well, you know, like moving from one stream to the other.
I figured out how to do it next time though. If we get you to host just a few seconds more, while I don't have to keep feeding the timer, I think I can go and do it in the background. If we got like a 2 second, if we got a 2 minute buffer, I can do it. Crop you in, apply settings, and I think I can do it all.
Yeah, people can wait like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, it's not too bad, but.
Yeah, but we're always late, so it's hard to time anyway, right? So
I know
it's
that's
like,
true, right?
Yeah, it's like no matter what.
I kind of liked it.
Let's not set an expectation of professionalism here.
Hey, we're always striving. We're always striving to be better. It doesn't mean we'll ever hit professional level, but we're always striving to be better. So look out for the mice then.
I'm trying to see if I can move my chair up, get a little more height. You guys feel so short. Like, nice to you guys.
Well, it's just because I'm in standing mode. Before I was like this in the chair, and I was like, I better stand up.
You can fix my green screen now, though, if you want.
I'm working on it. Okay. I'm working on it. So how was your stream? We'll start with you because you just were streaming. How was the stream? What did you guys do on it? How's things?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, actually. We were doing the whole, I mean, you saw parts of it, I'm sure, but we did a lot of experimentation with reverse quantum jumping. It's really hard to aim. So we were trying to get to Hurston and all that jazz. Obviously, it's not. I don't think that planet is in the game as an asset, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to do, and we kept dying over and over and over and over and over again. That was pretty much the whole stream. So, yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, Mr. Toy, how's your week been?
It's been good. It's really good.
Yeah, been keeping the steady pace up. I see, so it's good. Nice healthy streaming schedule. We always like to see that. So what else has been going on? How's Tricks?
It's going good. I'm still crushing in Conan
Yeah.
as usual,
Mm-hmm.
and but I think we're gonna switch gears, and the Path of Exile new season just started today.
Okay.
Some of the guys started on that, and I'll
Yeah.
catch up here probably tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we got other stuff rolling too.
Yeah, I never did get ask you guys if you caught up with the Overload guys again or anything like that. Or did you guys play any more of that since that came out? I know we just gave you guys some keys to it. I haven't had a chance to hit it yet.
I did.
So.
I streamed. I actually streamed it on Friday. No, today's Friday. Thursday.
Thursday? Well, yesterday was their launch day, so I assumed.
Okay. Yeah, it was yesterday. I streamed it for like an hour and a half or so. It was fun. I did some head-to-head. I got destroyed head-to-head lots of times.
They got some guys been grinding on that a year, so
yeah.
This is...
But I won first place on a anarchy mode against like 4 people or whatever. So I'm just saying.
Very nice.
Yeah, so definitely check that out, guys. If you haven't checked out Overload, it keeps going Overlord, but Overload.
I just keep calling it Descent.
Yeah, because it basically
yeah.
is. It's by a lot of the guys who still worked on Descent stuff, so still good stuff. Very interesting game. We might even have a couple codes we're going to give away, one of which we may give away tonight, in addition to the $10 Star Citizen gift card, because we have an extra one, so why not? Hook them up. Drones, how about you, buddy? How's your week been? You weren't on last week, so it's been a while since we've seen you on the show. So
Week's been good, man. Week's been good. Doing the steady, consistent streaming on time and just hanging out, playing games. It's been a lot of fun. I've done Star Citizen, I've done Raft, I've done Objects in Space. I bounced around a little this week, but it's been a lot of fun.
I'm really interested in Raft. I'm gonna hopefully we'll.
I love
Me too.
it.
Me too.
I'm absolutely enjoying it.
I think how many people can play? Is it multiplayer?
It is multiplayer.
Yeah, it's multiplayer.
How many people? Up to how many people?
I didn't
I don't know.
read for the limit.
I was thinking that would be fun to be together as a group.
Yeah.
Like if we could do like 3 or 4, like that would be like, oh man.
Yeah. We'll have to definitely check that out. And
Yep.
yeah, I'll talk to you about that. I'll talk to you about that off there too, because like I have a guy that might be doing some things there for us, so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Got a guy.
I got a guy.
A guy.
So,
A guy.
But yeah, but that's good. Sounds like everybody's had a great week. I really enjoyed this week in Star Citizen. I think they kind of recaptured some of the interesting questions. I had some people in chat that were kind of like, whatever. But I think by the time we got to ATV, everybody was pretty excited to see the first iterations of what they're thinking for scanning. And again, for everybody who's not happy with it, it is 0 tier, first iteration. Don't get overly worried about it and stressed out or anything. And it's going to be good. Who's peeking through my screens here? Oh, it's Bobby. Come here.
Bobby.
Bobby got a haircut today. So, hang on. Oh, he got his mop chopped.
There he is.
So, he went up and got a haircut with Dad today. I didn't get one, but you did.
Looking good.
Yeah. So, did you need something? We're just live on the air.
Can you please tuck me in?
Can I please tuck him in? All right, you guys fill the show. I have to supersede and do the tuck in. That's required.
First,
so.
man.
Absolutely. So I'll be right back. Tuck in time.
So yeah, we need to organize a raft thing, guys. I'm totally cool with that. I've been I'm actually sitting here just fishing while we're live because it's like an easy thing to do. But yeah, the building aspect of it is what like really drew me into the game. It's like so I can like custom build a raft. That's cool.
I mean, I like creative games. I do, especially the survival, creative survival, like Minecraft. Like I haven't played it forever, but back in the day, that was like I just got sucked into that.
Well, I was telling Drones just before we went live that I've seen. I didn't see a lot of the raft yet. I've seen a few minutes of it, and my first thing is who's getting murdered first on the raft to see the rest of us.
It's true though.
Can you actually like survive by like sacrifice?
I have not played the multiplayer aspect of it yet, but you do have a spear, and I can't. There is a checkbox for friendly fire. So yes, if you turn.
So I'm assuming it's like eat my arm, save yourselves, eat my arm.
I don't know if you'd be able to do that, but killing the other person. I mean, as it stands, okay, so like there's a shark almost always around your raft. So falling into the water is usually a bad idea. But you stab it enough times with the spear, it dies. You keep stabbing it and you get shark meat and you can eventually get the shark's head, stuff like that. So I don't see why you couldn't sit there and poke at a corpse and then put it on the fire and have food.
I know, right?
The shark won't come near the raft. You know, you got to chum the water a little bit. Oh, look, there's a
there is actually chum that you can drop in the water to distract the shark.
It's true.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of cool stuff. Yeah, Conan at Sea. I've heard a lot of people say that, and yeah, pretty much, it kind of is. Yep. That's what I've been up to. Oh, and Objects in Space was pretty cool. It's like really old school style graphics, so you know, it's like that. Think of the first few games you played where they had 3D graphics, where it's kind of 3D, but you're not gonna pan around or anything. Really enjoyed some of the mechanics in it. Like, so you can plot courses on, it's a 2D map, so you're not like moving up and down in space. But if you're going in a direction and you want to change directions, it literally rotates your ship and then fires thrust to change directions. It doesn't actually just stop and turn like a lot of those older style games do. So I liked it. I liked it a lot. I crashed it a lot, but I liked it a lot.
I don't know anything about that game. Interesting.
It was pretty cool, man. The devs were cool. One of them dropped by and just hung out. You know, like I said, just an awesome game. Yeah. It's in beta. It was a closed beta, so it was very limited as to who was in it. But it was, for a beta, it was pretty polished. I mean, like I said, a couple of crashes, but when you sign on for a beta, you know that's coming. You know?
Yeah.
Especially when you hand it to streamers. We're going to F it up for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right, I'm out. You're up.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like said what I haven't said what I've been doing. I just mostly said what I did today on stream. I basically been streaming Star Citizen like crazy, although I skipped Tuesday, but I did Thursday instead. So technically the same amount of days, just swapped one of the days. A little bit of Overload. I don't stream anything but Star Citizen usually. I kind of want to branch out a little bit, but I just love SC so much, so I keep getting drawn back to it, and I just keep playing that. But Overload's been fun, although I'm not great at it, and I think it's a game that requires quite a bit of skill before it becomes really fun, you know, because you have to start knowing how to play it and getting good at the weapons and the maps and all that jazz.
Just get good.
Just get good, right?
Get good, man.
How?
You gotta get
good. He's back.
Oh
man, but
end up buying that M2 the other day when I was watching.
Yeah, I didn't buy it when you were watching.
He made sure he did it in a very quiet room, and then he showered in cold water because to feel the shame.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
no, but I will say I do have an A2 and an M2 right now. So I slept on it. I took a long time. Normally I get these ships right away. I'm like, I know yes or no that I really want to get it for streaming. The biggest thing with the A2 and the M2, the reason I was hesitant was purely because of there's no ETA on when it will come. There's like, you know, it's like it might be years before it's in the game. Yeah. Right. So. But I do really like the idea of the gameplay that we're going to get from those ships.
I think most of the ships...
It's not like it could possibly get the Genesis treatment.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, I do believe, though, a lot of the ships, though, that have come out in the last, I'd say, probably 8 months in concept, are being a lot more fast-tracked because they're using pre-assembled models and a lot of the pallets that they already have to create these ships. So they're not, like, from scratch, you know? It's not as challenging for them as, say, like the Banu or something where they have to reconcept and they're like having to develop a whole new palette for alien architecture and stuff, and that's why they did the Defender and all this other crap to try to get it all lined up. But I bet we'll see it come out next year.
And I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
But I'm actually like, I think I've never run the numbers, but it looks like they're building ships faster than they're releasing them now, concept-wise. Like the number of, if you look per quarter, whatever, the number of ships that are expected to be releasing in each quarter is quite a lot. Yeah. So they've got that ship pipeline down where they're pumping them out. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm worried that we're gonna reach the critical mass again, kind of like what we did with the Starfarer incident when they first came out with 2.0, and then they tried to start generating towards 2.3, and I think it was around 2.3 when the Starfarer came in. I can't remember for sure. It was right. It was about the same time that they introduced Grimhex into the PU, but that at that point was when they also tried to play again with going up to a 40-man server before they had all the tech online too. And I think that's the point where they realized, hey, we can't put a lot of big ships in without having a higher player count because we just can't support it. And I'm afraid they're going to keep producing all these ships, and they're going to come out with them, and it's just going to be like, it's going to be kind of like the Reclaimer. The hype's there for the first 2 weeks, but what do we do with it? It's not even about the functionality. Like, if you made the Reclaimer function right now, you still can support a server full of Reclaimers.
Yeah, it's a multitude of things, right? It's a number of ships versus gameplay improvement versus like size of the world and how big it feels, right? And so it's like you have to advance all three of those at a certain rate, otherwise each one of them won't feel that great after a while. But I will say, and I don't know what they're doing, but today we were playing with Phantom and other people on my stream, and the servers had more ships, more NPCs than I've ever seen. And it was performing really well. Like, we're talking about where you jump into an area and you see 50 ships flying around. And that's only one section. You know, the rest of the map had more. Everywhere you jump, there's just ships everywhere. And it was performing admirably. So I don't know if they're doing stuff behind the scenes or anything, but
I would say they're always doing stuff behind the scenes. I mean, server side. They say that, you know, even when, I think that was addressed when they first came up with the... people were talking about, oh, I thought we were going to get all these patches and stuff when 3.0 came out because they had the new launcher and everything. And they're like, we have. You guys just don't realize it because we've already put like 4, 5, 6 patches in server side that we don't need to download client side, so you don't see that part.
Yeah.
So there's patches happening, and I believe they're patching all the time. It's just whenever they address our client side of things, that's when we see the drops and we see the iterations and stuff from that side. So.
Yeah.
But definitely. Well, let's get into the week, though. Let's dive into that. So, calling all devs. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good episode.
It was
decent. It wasn't earth-shattering, but I think it was good.
I just have to get reminded of what the questions were.
Yeah, we'll go through it.
It was a dirty ship. So I'll let Mitt do it. He's got the clip.
Yeah, we'll go through it. And the great thing about it is they've almost designed it so it works well on our show. Because the questions pop up, right?
Yeah, so we can actually see it.
So we can actually see the question. Todd Pappy, 2-time back-to-back question champion of the world. So, the first question there, and I love freezing at really awkward Todd Pappy expressions.
Oh, I'm notorious for my awkward freezes.
Yeah.
Which one you can do the best Todd Pappy impression? Is it this way? I don't know. I don't think I can. Something like that. Anyway, says somebody was asking about the no floating name tags above the player's head like in other games. How do you intend to address this for players to identify other players? Do anybody want to take this, what his answer was, or what your personal opinion is? Or
of course, I'll jump in. I heard the answer. I kind of understand why I'll explain it in a second, but doesn't explain everything. So, for example, he said they had it in the game, they removed it because in 3.0, like they said that basically in 2.6.3 or whatever the last version was before 3.0, it was a global space with an always up. There's Z was always up, right? And so you always had the name tag above the head, right? But then he's saying in the new physics space, there's no Z technically because you have planets that have, their spheres, and you can be on any side of the planet, right? And he said that as you walk around the planet, the name would rotate. But wouldn't that have always happened if that's the case? Wouldn't that have happened in 2.6.3? I didn't play it well enough, but you rotate it upside down, the name tag always stay like in upward Z above the body, even if they were upside down?
It did sometimes. It depended on where you were. So, like, if you were in Port Olisar, it was pretty well stationary. But if you were on a ship that was moving, you could literally see the name kind of warp around the player.
Or come outside the exterior of the ship.
Yep.
Like I'd follow my buddy in a ship, and you see his name tag slowly drifting like off of him. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it was really weird.
That is really weird, but that does explain it kind of, and maybe it's just because it was like a little bit of manual work or some work that some developer had to do. They didn't prioritize it. I totally understand, so they pulled it out. But like, they have name tags on planets already above ships and above outposts, right? Like that tell you like what things are, and those don't do that. So it's like, I mean, I get where they're coming from. Maybe it was a super low priority, but it's obviously not a big deal because they already do it with multiple.
Technically,
we're not there yet.
And technically, none of that stuff really moves, except maybe the actual
ships do, right?
Well, ships do.
They fly into Atmo, and I can see people's names above the ships, no matter where they are on the planet.
And that's why his answer kind of confused me, because I thought they removed him for more immersion aspect. Because he also mentioned about the NPCs don't have names, and then people wanted to be able to blend together and stuff like that. That makes more sense to me. That it's like, hey, they don't want you to know who's a player from an NPC unless you do a little extra work and kind of see it. If a guy like Emote sit down, he sits down in a row of NPCs, if he's not wearing anything, you know, that's identifying, he's just wearing regular NPC style garb, you wouldn't know the difference. It's only if they're moving around.
Story we wanted.
Yeah, I think that's the one I wanted. The other one was like, it just kind of confused me with the technical aspect of that, and obviously that just must mean they tag players differently than they tag ships and cities. There has to be some way they anchor them differently. I don't know. Yeah, but definitely that was where he went with that. And he talked about whether they're going to add him back in or not. Yes, no, maybe, kind of, sort of was his answer. So it was like,
it was basically a non-answer again. Yeah. He's good at those, though. I feel like, and whatever. It's fine.
Well, if they don't know, they don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I know it's true.
That's the hard thing. It's like a lot of people ding him. And I'm notorious for it too, digging them about non-answers of certain things, because certain things I feel like, well, you kind of have to know that as an answer. You might not want to share it with us at this time.
Yeah.
And I just wish one time they would say that we don't want to reveal that yet. That's what I want to hear.
We're not talking about
because when they constantly reiterate, we could go either way with that, or I don't know. That makes it feel a lot more wishy-washy. Like, wow, haven't you walk through this element of the game, or
have you had conversations about this already?
I mean, surely this has come up. It's and that's kind of like the same thing when we get to like that late game stuff. It's like, oh, it's so early in the game, blah blah blah. Nah, it's not really early in the game. I think at this point you kind of got to know your plan for launch. That's just me at this stage of the game.
See, I think the concern there is that I'm pretty sure they know what they want to do.
I do too.
The question is what can they end up doing?
Yes.
And not knowing what they can end up doing, if they state what they want to do, there are people out there that are going to take that and run with it as gospel. And if it doesn't make it, it's a bigger deal.
That's
sure they do it anyway, but it's a huge deal when they say, oh, we're going to do this, and then they say, well, we were going to do that.
Just language wise, I would like to hear, we don't want to reveal that yet on something.
Sure.
No, like they fully walk that through in the brain, but they want to reveal it. They kind of want to do that stuff. And I know it goes against the open development, and I'm sure that's why they don't want to say that exactly. But for new people coming into the game, and this is just my perception from talking to like new backers that come on the show and then they like see it and all that stuff. I won't say it like breathes incompetence, because I know they're not. I know they know what they're doing. But for the new guy, they say, so they don't know? To them, then I have to go through the whole explanation. No, you don't know. I've been following this forever and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But I get what they're seeing. If they've never seen these people, if they've never followed CIG, if they've never done that, and then they watch one of these shows, some of these things, some of the answers they get on some of those, they go, huh. Well, it just doesn't really come across and convey the same way it does to a backer who's been here for a long time. Yeah. So that's the one thing I'd say that is a little bit of my personal critical thinking back at them from what I've gotten feedback from other people. So I don't know. That's just my thing. Name tags will be coming back for Star Marine, but will they also return for that? Blah 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 for the persistent universe and house. So it's basically expansion on the same thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of gameplay questions about it too. It's like, and they kind of mentioned it, the idea of what do you want to see? Like, you put name tags on friends and you don't have them on others, or if you have them on people but not NPCs, it just really creates. And we don't have to go into it right now on the show, but I think that's the biggest reason why they don't have it. I think they're just playing around with like the gameplay. They didn't say that, but I really still think that's
in a world of 90% NPCs. I think having like people's names over, like if you say you see in a caravan of people or one of those bazaars like they've talked about in some of the cities and something, and you see like 4 guys with name tags, and I mean that to me is like, I won't say immersion breaking because I'm not really a big RPer.
Yeah.
But I think it also just kind of outs those 4 people. It doesn't give you the option of like, hey, I'm going to go off and walk off and hide in this crowd, like stealth out, because I would love to be able to do that. I want to be able to lose somebody in a crowd.
Yeah, I like the idea of, and again, this is us theory crafting, right? But I like the idea of, if you're going to have name tags, you should only be able to see them at close distances. Like at the distance where I would recognize my friend's face, it should go, oh, you recognize this person, here's their name, right? But like, if they're further away than I would be able to recognize them visually by their face, then it should be like, oh, no name tag kind of a thing.
The only name tags I really want in game are party.
If you're gonna do it,
it's a party. If they're in my party,
friends, right? But
exactly, and that's because same way that like the military uses right now, right? There are RFIDs and stuff like that. They identify friendly troops in the field because they have them tagged. They're sharing that signal. They know that way they don't have fire support directly on their position. The same way we would logically share that, information.
But even if I kind of like the idea of it just kind of only being there, like when you're close up to your friends.
Well,
I don't know.
Here's the counter to that. I like this because let's say you get in a firefight. Let's say I throw an EMP grenade or I jam. That should blank out all the name tags. Like I could literally, that would be a function in the game to where
that's true.
I could jam that signal just like that too if I had the right equipment. I was like, that's awesome.
Uniforms would be important.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like you'd have to know your position of your people, and then if the enemy we'll jam it up. You don't know. You could have friendly fire. You could have all sorts of crazy stuff happen then. And I like those type of thing, because then it starts to implement the one thing I think the game hasn't really addressed and it started to address early on. But was E-War. We don't really have an E-War thing. We talk about hacking. We talk about data stuff. We talk about all these things. What about the ability to, they talked about masking your ship eventually, right? You steal a ship, you can mask the ID and all this stuff. What about things that could interfere with that tagging scenario? You're in a firefight. You think you're doing good. Friendly ships get jammed off, all that stuff. You can mask your ID temporarily going into a hostile fleet. Like, you think it's a friendly and do all this stuff. I think
that's the question, though, is it's like, we're talking about ship ID versus people ID. And the question is, do you want, because like ships will have, what do you call those things that like emit what they are or whatever? IFF or whatever. Yeah, like even in our world, you can't fly in the US, I think, without having that on your plane, right? Or something. And so you'd have that as a ship in the game. A transponder, thank you, transponder. You wouldn't have that in the game, but our people aren't going to have transponders. So it makes sense to see like, so you're saying people are going to have transponders.
And this is why everybody has a MobiGlass. And it'd be your choice to share that to a party or whatever, or broadcast public. Say I'm a trader and I want everybody to know who I am in a bazaar.
So you're saying like as a player, I could turn off my transponder.
Correct.
And then nobody would be able to see me, even my friends.
Yep. Or I could choose it just on friends.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I do.
Because it's like your choice how you want to do it. You couldn't just simulate somebody's ID without like hacking it or doing something beyond that. But I want to be able to broadcast wide. I want to be able to broadcast a party, so if I'm playing with new people I don't ever play with, or say we just met up in a fleet and we're fighting Vandul and we're like, dude, we need to friend up this enemy fleet like that we normally would fight, but we got to fight the enemy. We could sit there and share so we don't have friendly fire incidents.
Yeah,
I love
totally
that.
Agree.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think CIG should be listening to this conversation.
Yep.
Yes.
Clip
Taking
this.
our advice. Let's move it. Yep.
And then move it over. Email it to CIG, and there you go. They're always listening.
Yeah.
But all right. I just think that should be the thing. I think it just personal transponder. You got a whole MobiGlass watch. It does everything from like contracts, everything. Surely it could broadcast your ID just like, with anything else.
Agreed.
So next element from Todd Pappy, which he really likes to grab at this side of the screen over there and just hold on to it and stuff.
Yeah, he does.
But that's cool. It's whatever. Imaginary bowling ball. It's like, yeah. Like that. Will we ever be able to adjust the visibility of HUD elements ourselves in order to address the overlays against veritable backgrounds? To some degree, they said yes. But they've also
they kind of hinted at a
yes.
yes.
Yeah, because they've talked about that. I know where people are getting that from. Because when they first showed the new iterations of the MobiGlass, they showed the variety of colors they could possibly do with the HUD, just in a Photoshop rotation. So everybody's like, oh, look at all this stuff. And then they've kind of gone silent on it again. But yeah, I think that one of the things, and this is something Todd even said, was talking about how they black out the backgrounds, you know, to help adjust for that, and they're starting to adjust Moby in different ways to help blockade that and let people be able to see more visually and stuff. I don't know how far they want to go with it though, because again, the more features and stuff like that, there's always something that kind of screws up, but we'll see. I think they definitely want to. It's one of those want to do it answers.
I think it's something they want to do. The way they asked the question was, will we be able to tweak it ourselves? And I think the answer is going to be no. Like, this is that tweaking like that kind of a thing is too. It's like, are they going to let you program the game? I want that to be
automated. Like I want that exactly. Automatic. I don't want that me.
Yeah, like as soon as they start letting you program the visibility of certain things, it's basically asking the game player to develop the game for you. It's like, here, program it so it does this in these scenarios.
It's also going to run into an issue where you adjust the text coloring and everything for a background, and then you fly over to a different moon that's the exact opposite color, and now you're SOL. I want something that kind of auto-adjusts to a specific contrast to the background.
I'm okay with... Oh, go for it.
I was just going to say, I'm okay with having default settings, like you have 4 options to choose from or something like that.
Yeah.
But they should be fixated and addressed by CIG, not something we slider bar or do all that stuff. I think that's just too much variation.
Yeah, I don't need that level of customization.
I like the idea of Moby-Glass skins, right? That you could be like, oh, I'm going to change out the skin, and it's going to look this way or that way, right? But they're kind of these pre-built, pre-custom kind of...
So I would be good with Moby-Glass skins if it was more Moby-Glass brands. So I buy a different branded Moby-Glass that's like, you know, like maybe I fly exclusively like Anvil. So, okay, I'm going to get a Moby-Glass that has like the Anvil look to it. Stuff like that I think would be cool, and it would keep with lore. It would make everything awesome.
It'd also be cool if those like different Moby-Glass. I mean, we're totally going way off base here, but it would be just
no, we're good. We're good. That's what we do.
It would be totally cool.
We always go off. That's why we're SpaceBros. We go out.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if they like maybe like they had perks for those. Like, oh, you have the Origin Moby-Glass. Well, now you get like free roadside assistance from like Origin or something. I have no idea.
Free roadside assistance.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Right. When your cyclone breaks down, don't worry, Origin's gonna come save you.
What are you doing, Toy? Like, what are you doing?
We never know.
Okay.
He's not even listening to you.
Yeah.
He's playing some video game or something. He's like, oh, I'm doing a Conan raid right now. Sorry.
His audio's messed up. That's what it is. Fixing it. He's talking in chat now. All right, moving on.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah, it sounds perfect from here.
Perfect.
Never sounded better. Next one, over here from Kurt. Is there an ETA for the development of the Caterpillar section modules? This is a great question, because even though it's like not high priority,
it's a when question.
It is, but I like the fact that they're asking about the modules.
Yeah.
You know. So basically, there was no answer. But it is something that they, you know, have looked at and all that stuff. But I'm glad that it's something brought up, and I'm glad it's something that they answered back at least. So that way it's like, and that all that does is ring the bell at CIG and say, hey, you know, they asked about that Caterpillar stuff. Maybe we better put that on the schedule somewhere. You know, so, but yeah, I this is something I would like to know too. I don't think it's even near needed or necessary in the near future. But I like that we're talking about it a little bit. That's all I can say about that.
And I like that, like, we're talking about what it could be or couldn't be intention-wise. Like, and one of the more shocking things that he said to me was the idea that they're thinking that, obviously these are all intentions because they haven't developed it yet, but that some of the modules could be larger or smaller in size. Like, they don't have to. Like, now there's 4 spaces, I think, in the Caterpillar if you look at those modules. And he even mentioned that one of the modules might be 2 spaces wide, so you could have the whole space in one room. Right, or that they're going to swap out the entire interior, so you could have almost 2 floors instead of just the walkway and the open ceiling. You could literally build in, like, you know, bedrooms or something into those, like where you have a lower deck and an upper deck. I don't know, so
refugee like transport or something like that. You could have You could
so that kind of thing is pretty cool. I don't know. So.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. I think it'd be cool to be able to leave survey modules around, like their full encompass bases, kind of like what we talked about with the Crucible. Having its hanger and you can detach it and leave it there. It'd be cool if they were like self-sustaining little, you know, EVA cubes or something, to like work on something from the Caterpillar and drop them off all over the place. That'd be cool. one thing about Kurt. He talked about it for a while.
Yeah.
And Rob. Rob was asked, with quantum travel to planets being considerably longer than traveling between moons, will we ever be able to leave the pilot seat during these long voyages between planets? I thought we still could.
Have to be.
You can. Now I think. I don't know. I got up out of my...
Sort of.
Because you got to decouple to
right
do it, right?
now.
No.
Well, right now, decoupled's broken as
one. Well, so
yeah.
I can speak to the reverse quantuming because I've been doing it all day.
Sure.
Now that you learned how to do it today and stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? And with reverse quantuming, I'm getting up out of the seat all the time after I hit the quantum button. So I don't really know. Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, in quantum it works fine. What doesn't work fine is when you're trying to fly somewhere not in quantum and do anything else at all. You will drop to 0 ms.
Yeah.
Unless you're decoupled, but like I said, decoupled's broken, so it doesn't keep you moving.
I agree, it's broken, but this question was specifically quantum related, so that's why I was puzzled by it. Because I thought you could do that now, but our quantum trips right now are like 10 seconds tops, so it's hard to...
You know, and that's why the question confused me a little bit, because it stated with quantum travel to planets being considerably longer than quantum traveling between moons. I mean, well, I guess it depends. If it's in our experience now, it's between moons of the same planet, so yeah, it's going to be longer from planet to planet. And you know, I know they want his answer, just to let everybody in on it that didn't know, is yes, they want you to be able to get out of your seat and do repairs and do stuff around the ship. But right now, there's no time to do that really anyway. You're there in like a matter of seconds. So, but yeah, their intention is to let us get out of the seat and do those things. I'm curious if they'll ever have a situation to where we'll be able to jump between nodes and not have to be in our pilot seat at all. I don't think they want to ever do
like an autopilot type thing.
I know they don't want to do autopilot, but like, let's say I path my thing, like I actually set it all up. Do I just have to orient my own ship and just sit down each time? Like if I'm doing a very long path, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come back to seat, like, oh, we're almost there, sit down, okay, reorient the ship, and then quantum again, then I can get back up and do my thing. Or
they haven't really figured out how to do pathing yet, so I don't know if they've even thought about that probably. But that is a good question. It's curious. I think that they'll probably create a role for it, because I think that that's the whole point of multi-crew. You want to create, like, you're the pilot, so you can take turns piloting. You know what I mean? But like, it creates value for multiplayer. So you and your friends can, like, one pilots, one fixes, one does something else.
At some point when they were talking about this, I kind of pictured like if they had a mode to where it was like when my kids all want party pizzas, like I cook one at a time. I cook one, and then the bell goes off. I throw it on a plate, and then I put the other one in. I just reach across and hit the start button, but I don't have to do a whole thing there, you know? Like, I wonder if it's ever going to get dumbed down to that, but probably not, because they want you to navigate. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the long term.
Well, my biggest thing
I'll be right back.
Is I know they want to make it so you'll need to repair your ship and you'll get interdicted and stuff like that, but I don't want it to turn into Conan where, like, I have to eat every 30 seconds. I don't want to have to drink.
I don't think anybody wants that.
Seconds. I don't want to get interdicted every 30 seconds. I don't want to have a component breaking.
The problem is, and this is my presumption, nothing CIG's told me personally, but the problem is we have a very small space relatively to work in right now. Even though it's, you know, millions and millions of kilometers and stuff in the volume of space, the actual active zones in which you do things are quite small. The travel times to get between things are quite short. You just jump, you're there, you know. So I thought about this, and everybody complains about getting interdicted all the time, and I agree, but that's the only way they can test interdiction, because we have no far travel times. Like, oh, if you're going like and traveling for 10 minutes, get interdicted after 2 minutes of travel or 10 minutes of travel, all you have is a 5-second jump. So the only chance they have to test interdiction is when you're on this, like, oh, I got interdicted. So I don't think it'll be like that in the main game.
Yeah,
I think as we have wider spaces, you'll get interdicted at a much more random interval, a longer pathing, you know, because the problem is if you were interdicted at that short a jump, I would assume once long range scanning and everything's in, everybody would see who's going to interdict them. It's like, oh, he's right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like no longer, he's right there. He's interdicting people. You know, here comes the UE, they kill him. You know, they're not going to be like that.
And also, if you get interdicted every time, it won't make sense for people who hire like protection. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm a militiaman, right, and you're gonna hire me to protect your cargo run, I'm not gonna take it unless you pay me the entire value of your cargo run. If I think I'm gonna get interdicted and have to fight every time, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm protecting you for a run and there's a 10% chance of me actually having to protect you, I might charge you less, and it might become an affordable agreement for me to like fly along with you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with the current rate of interdiction or the likelihood of being attacked, it would just, you'd have to pay so much money to get somebody to protect you because of all the amount of risk that they're absorbing. So I don't know.
Sure.
Anyways, moving on.
Darth Elwin was the next person answering the questions.
Yes.
And this was a good question. This is probably my favorite question of the thing, was why do so many ships come dirty or used? Will we be able to clean them later? Because it's been a topic, and I know it's not really, it's more of an aesthetic topic than anything, but it was brought up heavily when the Reclaimer came in, because everybody's like, oh, look at this amazing big ship. Oh, there's shit all over the coffee tables and, you know, all this stuff. Oh, is it always going to be that way and stuff? And he said that there's actually plans to introduce a mechanic where it's going to be the same thing like degradation of equipment, right? Like things start to malfunction if you don't maintain them and all that stuff. Same thing with the overall cleanliness of your ship. You'll be, as it's getting used more and more and more, it will become aesthetically dirty, right? Like these assets will appear, more cups knocked over, trash around, all this stuff. But you will have the opportunity at different truck stops and stations to clean your ship for a fee. And so that way you can maintain the state of cleanliness of your vessel. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I thought even deeper about that, because they talked about, you know, at one point, like how you might have to shower once in a while and do all that stuff in the game because, you know, how NPCs react to you. I think your crew should react, like, you know, wild lines and stuff negatively. It's like, oh my God, it was just in the galley and it's gross, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, you know, or if say you're in a commercial ship where you're doing like the Starliner, like we talked about, people trying to travel and stuff like that. If you don't, you're going to have to maintain that a lot more with the whole maintenance and cleaning, or else people don't want to travel on your ship. You know, they're not going to pay those high-end fees on a VIP vessel if you got coffee mugs and crap all over the floor. And, you know, I can't wait till the 600i comes out. I hope there's not like banana peels and stuff in the galley. Like it's like a pristine high-end ship. And it's oh yeah, no, it's got crap in the galley and stuff. Don't worry about it. It's dirty. So
let's move it out of the way.
Yeah. So I just think that's going to be an interesting thing, and that would be another mechanic that would be kind of cool if NPCs and people react negatively to the state of cleanliness in the ship. What do you guys think? Do you think there should be such a thing as like it gets dirty over time, or do you think it just, hey, it's just aesthetic, who cares?
My immersion.
Yeah, but I think there should be different types of dirty. So I think like for example, if you hire dirty NPCs, then the kitchen should get dirtier over time fast. But if you don't have anybody, it's just you on the ship, but you fly through like Dagobah and you crash in a swamp, your outside of your ship get dirty. You know, I don't think
I'm right now thinking budget NPCs. I'm looking through the job well, dirty NPCs. Yes.
And that's what
I know what I mean.
Too. Yeah, separating the wear and tear of the look of the ship from the dirtiness and cleanness of the inside of the ship. Those should be two separate systems.
Yeah.
I know I might be wanting too much, but I just don't like the idea of the ship just generally gets dirty over time, unless they really randomize it. Because I'm like, I don't want it to like, hey, it's 20% dirty. That coffee mug's going to appear. It's the banana's back. That coffee's going to appear on the table there. I like it where,
why don't you clean up after yourself?
I like the idea of like, say you're in a reclaimer, right? And you're doing a lot of drone work. And you got your drone crew. Your guys are always in the drone room and stuff. That room gets dirtier because they're in there. It's like they have physical impact of using that area where it gets dirty. Just like even think of this is totally off base. I know Chris Roberts always says he didn't want to make Sim Citizen, but like Sims, right? If the Sims are over here doing something a lot, they make a mess, and it's that area gets dirty. It's not just like the galley is 20% dirtier, so the banana peel appears, you know, or something. I want it to be more. These guys are constantly using something, contacting something, so that could get broken, right, through maintenance. That can get dirty. And dirtiness could even cause degradation and breaking of equipment. If you don't keep a clean ship, maybe like air filtration screwed up an area, like you know.
Or maybe you start getting space rats.
Yeah. You don't want space rats, man.
Yeah,
they're nasty.
Electronics.
Yeah, they're nasty. They're about that big.
Yeah. No, I think. Oh man, I think that you have to have faith in this case. I know CIG. I know the work that they've been doing. They don't do anything piecemeal. If they include something in a game like getting dirty over time, it's going to be the best simulation of getting dirty over time you've ever seen, right? But they've even talked about like how things age, right? And they've even talked about it, I think, at least implied, that environment plays an impact. So if you're like on a mossy planet, you'll get mossy over time. If you're on an icy planet or like a desert planet, it'll get like dusty and dirty over time. Like I think that they're going to go that far when it comes to the outside of your ship. So I'm pretty sure the inside of your ship, when it comes to how it gets messy in the kitchen or otherwise, will have the same level of detail, or they won't include it. I just don't see them including it unless it's going to be really cool. So
I can get down with that.
I mean, because I wouldn't mind, like I said, I definitely want it 2 different systems, because I like some of the wear and tear looks on the outside of the ship. But you're right. I don't want to see shit just randomly appear on my tables on the inside either.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the fuse been in the galley a lot, so the banana's back. That one banana.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if like you like landed on a desert planet, you like walk out of your ship to go on a mission, but then a sandstorm hits the ship while you're away and it wears it down a little bit. It's a little dirtier. You get back in the ship, which was pristine before you went on your away mission, and you go into the kitchen and there's like bananas everywhere, rotten and moldy. You're like, who's in my ship? Who got into my ship while I was gone?
We're out of food. We haven't even had bananas in weeks, but there's rotten bananas here.
Everywhere. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I might be wanting too much, but I'm like, if you're going to go with this, I either want it pristine all the time, doesn't look lived in. That's honest to God what I want. Or I want it to be impactful. Like if my guys walk through the room, they could leave dirt on the floor through the room they walk through. That's what I want. I'm like, I'm an all or nothing when it comes to that stuff. I either like, don't even mess with it at all. Just give me a pristine ship because it's space, and we'll just say, you know, we got space little iRobot vacuums that clean everything. Or if you're going to give the dirt, make my crew and me impact the dirt. Like the coffee cup that I can't move on the table annoys the hell out of me. Yeah, it really does. It irritates the shit out of me. I want to be able to sit down, and if I bring a tray, then the food on there I'm responsible for. That's it. I can clean it up. If I leave that out, it sits there. But otherwise, it's pristine.
Yeah. And if NPCs make a mess, you give them lashes.
Yeah, or you space them.
Or you space them.
Yeah.
Hey, come check out this airlock. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, bring your oatmeal bowl, too, that you didn't watch last
night. Look how clean this airlock is as you go out it.
I wonder how many people are going to space their NPCs when they mess up as punishment.
Oh, that 100%. 100%.
Yeah, frozen NPC bowling.
You failed me for the last time, Admiral.
Yeah. For the last time. Yep, perfect. All right, so after that, we got into a really nice little Squadron 42 update. I always like hearing these because this is the first of the 2 games we're going to end up getting. The Squadron 42.
What do we have a name for the second game? Is it going to be Squadron 42 2, or is it Squadron 43? Or do we know?
Don't know the title of that one. We know it's part of the thing, but I was referring to this in Star Citizen.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Oh, I see. I see what you mean.
Because we're going to get this before we get the main MMO.
Yeah.
I would assume we'd get the second chapter after we have at least beta. I don't think that it'd be hard for me to comprehend that they'd come out with a second single player campaign fully released.
Think of it this way though. Squadron 42's primary limitations are tech right now. Like they have the story done, they've had the acting done for a long time. If the tech was done, they probably would have pumped out Squadron 42 a long time ago, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure they've already broken Squadron 42 up probably from a larger story that they've already written, right? With the second game and the third game. So once the tech gets to the point where they can release Squadron 42, the amount of time between 42 and whatever the next one's going to be called, it should be at least relatively smaller. I don't know how small, but...
Well, considering they've been working on this for many years now, relatively small. I would hope the distance between at least a beta or a open or a full release of the MMO would happen either at the same time as the second chapter, or the second chapter would come after that.
But if they release Squadron 42, it does well, which we're all hoping it does, right? Like just it blows people out of the water, best single player space game ever made, right? You know what I mean? That was the promise, right? Best damn space sim kind of a thing. So if it does and it meets its promise, it's going to draw so many people in. It's going to raise so much more money. It probably will be able to pay for itself, I hope, and help fund the game a little bit more. And if that happens, I could see them hiring more people and pumping out another game, you know, in another year or less. So I really don't know how long it's going to take for us to get to beta with Star Citizen. But if, let's say, for some reason, and we're just hypothesizing like crazy, but let's just say for some reason they release Squadron 42 early 2019, I could see them coming out with a second series of Squadron 42 a little over a year later, you know, like maybe a year and a half later or 2 years later or something. So, and I don't know if we'll be in beta by then. Maybe we will, but anyways, it's all speculation for sure. But
I don't know. Let's see when they actually release this one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All speculation, and I'm being a little optimistic.
Yeah, I think just because I view full release of Star Citizen differently than a lot of people. I think they're only going to release with a handful of systems, probably about 10 maybe, and they're going to constantly grow the MMO in iterations and chapters. That's going to be like, I don't think they're ever going to release the game with like 100 solar systems. People said they will. People said they won't. I think it's going to be about 10.
No, yeah, 10. And they don't need 100.
Well, that's arguable depending on how they frame out the MMO story. I mean, because it's hard to have just 10 base systems and have all these races, you know, and all these different elements, because I don't know if 10 systems connect to the variety of what the universe is supposed to encompass.
That's true.
But
that's true. And also the player count, right? It's like how many people are going to jump in? Will it feel crowded with 10 systems with that many players? You know
are you going to have to like
more?
3 home systems people start in, or is it all going to supposed to be in one system?
Yeah.
That's
if it does, like, how is that going to crash?
Is it going to crash it, and then everybody has to just organically expand from that one system out, or is it going to be like you could spawn at Terra or like 3 of these different systems, and then kind of expand out from there, or you know, a lot of questions in that area.
From a lot of these other games that are releasing, especially MMOs, you've seen like a lot of backlash, I feel like. And I really hope they take their time to release it. I hope they don't rush it out before it's ready. I don't mind if they keep it in alpha for a long time, as long as the game gets more fun to play, right? Because alpha gives them that excuse, right? Alpha is look, it's not a game yet, even though it's fun to play it at your own risk, right? And then when it goes beta, you're kind of saying, look, it's kind of solidifying, but there's still some issues. As soon as you say it's released, right, then it's...
People have a huge expectation.
Even though release has no real meaning anymore. I mean,
it does, though. It does. Look at, like, I don't know if Blessed is it released or is it beta? I can't remember. But, like,
Blessed came
so much backlash for that game. And I haven't played it.
That's because Blessed has been out for 5 years? 6 years?
I'm just saying, if they stayed in alpha for an extra 5 years.
Well, this is a Western port. This has just been localized for the Western people. This is again another Eastern game that's been out for a long time.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, started to die off, and then they ported it to the U.S. That's what they did. They just localized it for us. There was a lot of things they had to take out because they couldn't leave it in. Like they had full frontal animal nudity in it and all sorts of stuff that's just not globally accepted over here.
I'm just saying people hold games accountable when they have the names attached to it. Like if No Man's Sky, and I know I mentioned the unnameable, but if No Man's Sky had released,
what did you say?
If it had released, saying, "Look, this is super alpha, but we want people to start playing it and give feedback," there would have been a whole different reaction to the game. Like, you know what I mean? So saying release does mean
just not saying that, you know, ecosystem. It's possible to have multiplayer and it's not multiplayer.
I know the lies, but my point is, if you were saying, look, we want to have multiplayer eventually, and this is super alpha.
Yeah, but that's not what they said. They were on the Tonight Show and like said, "Oh yeah, you probably won't fight each other." But
no, I agree, but that's my point though. Is you say Star Citizen's released, they've already been so many promises, and when they don't have that, they're gonna hold you accountable to say all these failed promises. You know what I mean? So I'd rather than just not say it's released until it's actually like what they've promised. And just stay in beta forever. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's my opinion.
I mean, I don't care with Star Citizen because I'm already in. I don't care how long it takes them to build, as long as it's fun and all that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I look at other companies, and this is why also you notice with CIG, they don't ever say early access. They don't say those type of things. And I hope they don't, their marketing department never convinces them to do that. Because if they go through this whole alpha phase and then we go to beta and then they have early access, I'm like, oh my God, it's just going to make me lose my mind. Because there's too many games out there that have given early access and given alpha and given beta bad names at this point. Ark, I mean, just got actually released, what, like a year and a half ago now, after we played it for like, you know, played it for 6 months, been there, done that. They even had DLC releases you had to buy in their alpha phase, and then they're like, oh, now it's launched. And there's a lot of games that do that now. They'll like sit there, and some games legitimately try to work out the bugs and do that, and then go to full release, while other games that's what it is. It's not, they're not working out bugs. They're trying to sell you something, using the title early access as a crutch, just saying, oh, but it's early access, just give us our $59.99 and that's it, you know? And I'm like, but they aren't working on fixing those bugs. They're working on trying to do a money grab, and they'll fix the bugs 2 years later. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, if they fix it all, if they survive their alpha launch, then they'll come back out and go, oh, look, it's a fresh release game. Go ahead and join our launch. And I'm like, you've been out for 3 years. It's not a new release. It's an old title now.
Yep.
So I just don't want Star Citizen to do that. I am fine with them staying in alpha as long as possible. Don't go through some like, hey, half-ass release of early access and then call it a full release. Don't do that. Just stay in alpha as long as you need to. Go to beta, and then go to launch when it's ready to be launched.
Yeah,
that's what I say. So let's dive into the beautiful, amazing Squadron 42 stupendous update. That was good. Phil was giving us the breakdown here. He showed us a lot of gun mechanics that we saw here. You know, the one thing I can say critically of some of the guns is I love the way they feel in Star Marine, that what we've had so far come in with the P8 and some of those. Not a big fan of the whole flare out of the nozzle, but that's just my personal selection. I don't like the super flash fires that come out like 6-8 inches on some of these weapons because I feel like it interferes with the targeting and all that. But I guess it's whatever, you know, it's just aesthetics. But what do you guys think of what you saw, at least on some of the updates with the gun parts and stuff like that for this? I mean, is it interesting to you? Do you really care? Or is it like just kind of like, yeah, whatever?
I'll be honest, man. Like, it's cool, but I don't care that much.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's expected, I think. That's the reason we don't care. It's like, it's every other game has it. So, yay, you've at least doing what everybody in the game's doing. Congratulations, thank you. But,
but see, they're not just doing it because other games do stuff like this, but fake it. This isn't faked.
Yeah.
When that muzzle goes up, those bullets are going up.
Is it an animation? I know, but I know obviously the bolts are going up too, but same in the other games. But my point is it an animation or is it actually doing physics calculations? I don't think it's doing physics calculations.
It does physics calculations because they actually went. There's a whole thing with this. In most FPSs, whether people know this or not, and I'm probably reviewing what a lot of people know, your targeting is the middle of your screen. It doesn't matter what the animation of your gun does. Your targeting is the center of your screen. And then in an FPS game, they draw in the other stuff to make the gun appear however cool, loaded up, and it's up here and stuff. And this is why you'll hear audio bugs a lot in Star Marine and other games when the gun falls on the ground, it's still shooting. Those bullets are live. It's not an animation. You could walk across the gun that's still shooting on the ground bugged out, and it will kill you.
And it will hurt.
It will kill you. Those bullets are actually going out of the nozzle. Each gunfire, each bullet that ejects out of the gun is actually a projectile in this. It's actually doing stuff. Yeah, it's actually doing that. So they do the physics, and if you look at this animation sequence right here, this is what shows it. You see how it fires differently when he's not fully ADS. Then when he crouches down to it, he's got a lot more gun control, and you'll see it fire a much tighter grouping when he does it like that. See, it doesn't rise as much, and he can move. So you can see difference in how he actually moves that. And it's not just an animation of what the player sees on the screen. On other games, and you'll see this in Battlefield, if I aim like this and move, you'll actually be, okay, that's what I see, but that guy might not see me look down the barrel. He just sees the direction I'm pointing because they don't go to the detail of that animation. In this, you see my actual movement. If I move my head over, I'm ADSing. If I don't, I'm not. You're seeing a physical render of actually what's happening on the gun.
Yeah.
So they actually went way more like an Arma, because Arma does that type of movement too and stuff. They went a lot closer.
But I mean, it's good. I like it. That's in there. I mean, I'm not like excited necessarily, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna make FPS combat fun. right? I just hope that you're allowed to counteract it. Like, you know, get some games where you've got the kickback, but if you can move your mouse forward at the right pace or something, it tries to keep it steady. You know what I mean, or something.
One thing that you'll find if you play more Star Marine in this, that you'll notice that's really apparent, and other than the fact there's a lot of people using exploits and hacking, if you get shot in the head, it disorients your fire rate because you're physically moving your camera around, because that's what you see. In other games, that doesn't happen. It's not physically rendering what you're seeing, so you're actually getting the actual physics of everything in this. So why that's important in an FPS game, and a lot of people don't realize, say I'm sniping, say I'm doing something else far off, I can actually see the enemy, what they're actually looking at based on their eye movement, based on their frame, based on everything. In other games, that's why when you run past somebody and he shoots you from behind magically, it's because it didn't sync up and he was actually facing your way, and the game didn't render it that because it just didn't think of doing that animation. In this, you can actually see one-to-one what they're doing. And that's why I get excited about it, because I'm an FPS guy. But I like it.
Yeah. And I think I'll get into it once I start playing FPS in SC. I just haven't done it much.
This right here blew my mind.
All the NPCs.
Yeah,
that's what the PU looked like today, though. When I was playing, I was just like coming in. I was like, what the?
Yeah, I think that, you know, and given this is in their engine, right? And this is all like, hey, let's just see what happens and do all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. It looks amazing to see that much craft actually physically fighting each other. Imagine flying into a space battle of triangles here. That's because it's crazy. And, you know, the image I want to see eventually in the game is this, plus seeing a few Idrises and Javs on either side, and like some big gunfire going across. It's like, and all the little triangles going around. I'm like, what's up? And I'm like, that's what I'm excited about.
Like, if you can get that, this game is...
I will say that you can notice on his frame counter, he's only getting 13 FPS, but that's damn good for that many AI. So I'm like, it's looking good. It's looking good.
Yeah.
It's looking good. So I'm excited about that. I haven't had a lot of experiences like this yet. I want to. And I think if they do improve the turrets the way they're saying, you're going to get that type of action. Except would you even do that? Sorry, scroll back for a second. Would you even do that with the turrets in a ship? Sorry, I got the wrong window up, so I can't even see what you're looking at. There we go. Yeah. When the Connie's flying sideways, you're only facing some of your turrets towards the enemy. You're broadsiding, so you're exposing a lot more surface area to hit. Like, I mean, I don't think you'll ever see combat like this because it doesn't seem very strategic, right? Like, if you pointed. I'll tell you the situation what you would. It wouldn't be a Connie. It'd be the Javelin, because that would be most of your fire arc would be facing sideways, broadsiding, doing it, except for your torpedoes. Now, let's say you have multiple ship contacts. Maybe my Connie's trying to, you know, torpedo, or my Jav's trying to torpedo the other cap in front of me, right? And then these guys are trying to keep fighters off. I think that's when you're going to start seeing that. Probably not in that scenario, because most pilots are going to try to drive a Connie like this, like they do a fighter. And it's all over the place, but
well, it's mostly about DPS or reducing your like hit box, right? And then just getting out of there. And that one they weren't doing either. They were maximizing DPS and they weren't.
The only scenario I've seen that in today's builds on 3.1 is when you're trying to leave atmosphere. I have seen that type of gameplay, because I've seen people in turrets trying to repel people chasing down a ship trying to break atmo. Because as a pilot, you're just trying to go straight out, get out of atmosphere. Your gunners are trying to fend off people coming after you if they can.
I also I saw a clip of Binary Loop. He did a thing where he had a caterpillar loaded with Noxes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Shooting broadside out. That was pretty epic. So I could see certain scenarios depending on how you lay out your ship, where maybe you want that.
Yeah, but it's about DPS, like I said, right? And that one, you don't have very much DPS, I feel like, on the Connie sideways. So
I feel like the disadvantage, too, is right now they've designed every ship as a fighter.
Yeah, forward-facing guns.
Everything's forward-facing guns. Your pilot's in most of the control of most of the weapon systems directly forward. That's how it works. And until we have other types of ships that don't operate that way, people are going to fly them like a fighter.
Yeah. You've got to disconnect the pilot. If you want turrets to be good, the pilot shouldn't be fighting with weapons, because the pilot's going to be flying around and dogfighting. Whereas if everybody else is in turrets, that's the only way turrets are going to work. I
feel like ships should be, most of the larger ships, when you get Connie and above size, should be driven like a tank. You have a gunner that operates independent of your driver. They're both physically aware of the situation where the enemy is, what's going on, but they both present themselves in a way to where if they're attacking, defending, and all that stuff, independent roles of what their objectives are. The pilot or the driver is trying to get you in position to hit the enemy, but also evade the enemy fire. So he's worried about that, whereas the gunner is only worried about hitting the targets when they're their presence known or available targets. So I just right now our ships aren't designed that way that we have available to us. So I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting. Obviously, I'm not a combat person, so everything I say relating to combat is
like, you know, if you think about it, like even to me, the Starfarer design makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the back end guns, but on a Starfarer, I think every weapon should be in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your most vulnerable point where all the fuel is. I'm not going to drive at the enemy with the Starfarer. I want every single thing to like try to get them off of me, so I should be driving away.
I really expect some ship redesigns coming in the future as balancing takes place and they realize what's working and what's not working with some ship designs. So,
well, the problem is everybody, when they're selling these ships, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to be the amazing fuel truck driver that one shot's a freelancer," and you know, and then they look at like, I literally have talked to people when the Starfarer came out. There's like, "You saw his gun to that?" I'm like, it's an effing gas truck. I mean, it's a gas truck. I'm like,
it's a gas truck.
It's a gas truck. I mean, you know, there's a reason they'll put 50 cal machine guns out in Afghanistan on the gas units and stuff, and all the people driving, because those aren't assault vehicles. they don't drive the gas truck at the enemy and be like, I'm going to tear them up.
But
you know,
I think one idea that could be kind of cool, which I don't think they're going to do because that's not how they do the gameplay, but not go super module, but like let's say you have like 10 or 20 different spots you could hook up guns on your ship, not just in the default spots, right? Now you might not be, you can't load all 20 spots with guns, but you could modularly choose to move turrets around or to move certain guns positions around just where you think they're strategically best for whatever mission you're going on, right?
For how you have it out and stuff.
Yeah, so there's like pre-selected, but that's so much testing and bug. Like I know that there's a million reasons why they won't do that, but I think that'd be cool. Could be cool, I guess.
Well, like, and Heat Bloodfin in chat says Starfarer slow, fighters will be all right. Yeah, but you aren't hitting little fast fighters with those big ass cannons on the front of a Starfarer anyway, unless you're just damn lucky. If anything, I'd redesign it to where it had a bunch of really small auto turrets around it, so it had a better. It would do like Death Blossom, to me. Like little fighters come too close, like boom, it just like fires out amazing rays of stuff to repel small.
That would be
craft.
really cool. I like that idea. I should come up with a weapon like that.
That's just how I feel about it. I mean, you know. Yeah. So, but I understand everybody, you know, that everybody wants the big ship that's going to one-shot something else. But as we get more and more ships in, and I think the Eclipse will be the first one that like reveals this. It's like, oh, that's awesome. You bought that big-ass ship with all those big guns on it. Torpedo.
Yep. Thanks for being my target.
Thanks for playing with your gas truck. I bet there's going to be a melting of Genesis Starfarers that you don't even realize. Well, it's like, because what's the perfect victim for the Eclipse? The gas truck. I mean, really, that is, I mean, if you want to mess, and I'm not even talking just for griefing inside the, you know, what we have now in the alpha. I'm talking strategically inside an element. If I want to really hurt a fleet, and Starfarer has very limited scanning capability, it's not going to be able to like, oh, look, there's an Eclipse coming. The Eclipse will mess with your supply line like you can't even fathom. It'll just jack your world up.
You can't one shot it. You can't one shot a Starfarer with a size 9 torp right now.
No, but I'm at 3.
Two does it pretty regularly, I think. But still,
But wait till I have like 4 Eclipse pilots coming, and you're like, you have your Starfarers, or even like supply trucks of any type, Caterpillars, whatever you're trying to do for your supply line. You're gonna be in trouble. I mean, you know, to me, I would keep my long range radar with my main fleet. You might keep somebody out with your Starfarer to try to, you know, do that stuff. But it's gonna be ruthless. But that's the way it's supposed to work, right?
Right. But I agree with you, but I don't think the game's gonna change a lot when the Eclipse comes out. Only because, I mean, the Retaliator's already out, and the Retaliator has SS9s, and you don't see them just hunting and destroying Starfarers yet.
They used to.
I mean, maybe for
when they first came out, there's a lot of
this.
Yeah, there's a lot of torpedo action when they came out. I think you'll see an array of torpedo action
for a little while.
For a little while, at least. But one of the big problems too with the Retaliator was it was broken most of the time. The wheels used to hang on it, used to clip out of it. The turrets still don't work on it because the big draw for it was like, oh, they have turrets, you know? And you could still, up to more recently, and we've seen a resurgence of the Retaliator, because you used to be able to blind jump. And so that was the ultimate thing. All I would do, Retaliator comes up the field, oh yeah, fire a torpedo at me. They were so slow, I just blind jump away. What's it going to do? Then come back. Oh, you're out of torpedoes?
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. You know?
Yeah.
So, and also the Retaliator has a huge signature. You can see it from like 15K, 20K, 30K away. It's like, oh, look, it's a Retaliator. This thing, it's like, oh, you're 5K away. Oh, I'm dead.
I mean, ideally, but they don't have that stealth quite yet, do they? Or are they going to do that by 3.2? We think.
I don't know. I think
they've even admitted. Yeah, they even admitted on like ATV or Calling All Devs not that long ago, where they were like, yeah, they kind of just default all the scanning and like detection stuff right now. So we'll see when that comes in. But when it does, then it'll become more powerful, right? So I don't know.
This is pretty.
This, yes,
looks good. There's not a lot else to say about it besides it just looks really good. It's
it's one of those things that's kind of unrealistic from a physics perspective, like in some ways, but like it's just, I don't care. It's so freaking beautiful. Like planets that are just kind of floating through nebula cloud type stuff, and the way the light casts off it.
And Toy's been a super fan of this tech forever, like the volumetric stuff and the gas stuff and all that. I mean, he's been an advocate of this for a long time, even all the way back before we had atmospherics and talks like about different pressures and different cabins and stuff that they still haven't implemented yet, but they're testing now. This just looks so good. It
does.
Yeah. I just hope they get to. I hope they get to Wrath the Khan level with this. I really want to see it like wrap around my ship. You know what I mean? If it's like a really dense nebula, and you come out and it's just like a puff of smoke, you're coming out like the Enterprise did in Wrath the Khan.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, it's like, I was hiding in the nebula. Now what? And this, you know.
But then they've never shown off any animated volumetrics yet.
They haven't yet. You're right. I just hope they do it. It's a personal hope.
Yeah.
It's a personal hope. Trash looks even good on Star Citizen.
Yeah, even this rusty pile of something.
I think somebody called it the other day. They said, "Oh, that's all the old parking meters."
Oh, wait, all the what meters?
Parking meters. I was like,
nice.
I could,
oh my god.
I was like, I could see that.
Yeah.
Trash heap of parking meters. Just more pretties. Lots of stuff looks good.
I like this stuff. Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, I love the guy who's like back there, like talking crap with his emote. If you watch him, he's just back there.
Which guy?
Watch him in the background.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. If you go back to like the buildings, like the stone buildings, concrete ones, yeah, those just for some reason make me think of like Yavin 4, like New Hope, kind of like with the Masasi temples or something. Yeah, man. And again, I kind of hope, and I know this is Squadron 42, but it kind of makes me hope that there'll be like abandoned ruins or temples that you could find that you could use as temporary bases for your org to like put your ships in or like whatever.
That'd be really cool. Just like old bomb shelters, old
or whatever.
Things. Yeah,
like, maybe you can't build bases, but like just finding them, you know what I mean, and claiming the territory.
And maybe you could repair certain units, like certain repair things or turrets on or anything. Yeah, I think that'd be really neat.
It's in Masasi.
They do make dirty stuff look good in this game.
Did you pause that picture with the tube? Did you see the guy inside there?
Yeah, he's down below inside the looks like a sewer drain right there.
Because all the other ones you think, okay, this looks fairly small.
Yeah,
this
but that's
gives you
massive.
the size and scale of this facility. It's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, should get after the ass about that loose cable though.
This is the Idris? Okay.
I can't remember if this was the Idris.
It's got to be. It's Squadron 42. This looks Idris-y.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, the cheap static animation over this, I'm sorry.
I'm not a big fan. Yeah.
You could buy this
for
like $2 on Envato right now. So I'm just saying, this is like something they skinned over that. I do like what the panels look like and stuff, but I don't get the whole, hey, we're making it look staticky, so that way you're looking at. I'm like, is there a flying drone camera and that's why it's staticky? I don't know.
Yeah.
I understood it with the original Eclipse video, if you remember, where they like did the sneak peek of it, where you weren't supposed to know what it was. That kind of made sense in context, but there was no real context for this. Why do that?
I could look at this all day. I mean, I could literally look at the Bengal carrier pulling away and just like, oh, what's that area there?
For sure.
I will spend, when there's one of these in game, I will spend probably a week EVAing around the outside just looking at stuff.
For sure.
Blowing it.
Well, the amount of detail, like if you ever EVA, you know, we used to do it all the time when you park your ship out in somewhere in space and you EVA and you can see the detail like underneath the turret. Like you can look and there's labels and they've actually drawn all the cables in there and it's all functioning. I'm just like, it blows my mind. It's like, because most things they'll just do like a black skin on a game. Like, oh yeah, it's just there. And they're like stuff you'd never see.
Yeah.
Ever. Like you could orient the turret around 90 degrees and you'll see different things that unless you stood right there beside the turret, no practical reason to ever do it, and looked right down there underneath, you'd never see that some guy drew a button that blinks. Yeah. And I'm like, what?
And
like the Fuse logo on Port Olisar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Yeah.
But like, the question is, how many Easter eggs do you think the devs are going to plant somewhere in that ship? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be all kinds of references.
I'm still looking for the J. Lee was here on like every suit or uniform I see.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, where's the J. Lee logo? Like somewhere.
Yeah.
On everything,
but also like, and I think the answer is yes. But like, are they detailing out every floor, every room on this? Because they've put obviously all kinds of stuff in it. So it's like the scale of the ship. I mean, the Javelin's already huge to build, right? But like this. How many floors is it? Do we know how many floors? It's like 20 floors? How tall is this thing?
No, it's not 20, but it's a lot.
It's huge.
I can't remember now.
The Javelin's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And this is bigger than the Javelin. Quite a bit bigger.
Well, it depends. If you count the bridge as an independent floor system. But the main body, I thought it had, was it 5? Through the main hole from front to back of the ship.
But the Javelin has 5 in the main body, I think.
Yeah.
So this has to like... I don't know. I'm just saying.
Like, look at it.
Are they
but you got to remember, it's not just about floors. It's about sections in the Bengal. Because you have those floors, and it's like got the main hangar down the middle, and then they're divided by section.
And it's really long and huge.
It's super long, and it's like the ship's pretty symmetrically built. So it's like as much as this, because I mean, they had to build a tram system inside of it. They said.
Yep.
So that way you could get from one to the other, because it's like so long, you had to ride a train to get to the other side. So. But these brigs look badass.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you want more? Wouldn't it be great if they actually functioned for players?
I don't think they're gonna. I think Squadron 42. I don't think they're gonna actually have this ship walkable in Squadron 42. Is it? Are they? Do you think you're gonna be able to go? Do you think in the game you're gonna ever step foot on a Bengal?
I don't know.
Are you ever gonna step foot on a Bengal?
God, I hope so.
Absolutely.
I hope so.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
If that's the case, like,
I want to go to the control pad.
Let me rephrase it. I want to.
Okay, of course you want to. But like, think of it. They had to put, how many people did they have to put on the Idris to make it feel alive, NPC-wise? 80, right? How many NPCs are they gonna have to put if they rent out the entire ship, right? If it's not faked in some way, they're gonna have to put like 1,000 NPCs on the ship to make it feel alive. I have no idea. We'll see.
I just don't know. I think this might be, maybe you do it in Squadron 42. If not, I guarantee they prelude it for like the next chapter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, there's so much you could do even on a size ship like the Idris with all the missions and stuff. I mean, that's, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards like the idea that you're gonna get on it, just like Cyberwolf says, where it's not gonna be the full ship. You're gonna get access to pieces of its guided tour. You're not gonna like have like, oh, you're gonna run around every room in the ship kind of a thing, you know? So. Yeah. If you get on it.
Or
at all.
It could be a derelict.
Oh yeah, or that too.
I can see that as well. Here we get to see a simulation of the few doing FPS combat.
This is the best part for me of the entire ATV.
Because this is a prelude to what FPS AI, right? I mean, this is what we're seeing.
Yep.
So they're showing the demonstration of what unprepared, like what they call civilians, like non-military trained guys trying to defend a little bit, how they're a little more skittish. How they're like, you know, hey,
they don't change hands with their guns.
Yeah, they don't know. It's like I got a gun here. I might shoot myself in the calf, or I'll randomly Rambo and jump out and open and
yeah.
I'm
just wondering how like modular and extendable those animations are. You know what I mean? Like obviously they're doing a lot of work to create this variation. I think it's amazing, which is better than almost any other game that does probably. But like, if they're always doing that same animation, right? It's like I'm wondering how much variety and variance you're gonna see.
It looks pretty varied just in that sequence. I don't know though. You're right. I don't know, but I mean, if you look at it, and we could break this down even more. Look at it. Look at how many different from one state, because I'm talking in the terms of way the process for their AI works. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
What am I? Subsumption works, right? Because it showed like on their little mind map or their logical map diagram of how AI chooses different state of being from this to this to this, and could go varied. If you look at his state of being, like there from his like one skittish sitting up on the left guy to where he takes a peek and he leans in and he's like, oh, backs up, and then he changes another state of being, like, okay, he doesn't do the same way. He's like, I'm gonna come out and Rambo it, da, 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 da. And then I go back and a little more skittish. And it's even more. He's like, is he gonna peek fully? No, he does a half peek animation.
Yeah.
See, I love how many varied. I saw at least like 8 different states.
Yeah.
For him to go to in that.
Yeah, and I hope in each state that it has a little bit of looping variance as well. Yeah. But overall, I think that there's like a slider bar where you just like say this NPC is this like confident in battle, right? And you just drag it up and down, and it changes the animation sets.
And then it changes his choices, because the way the way they show subsumption, I assume working even with these states, is your AI based on his skill level, based on his confidence, like you're saying. He has he's only so confident, so he has these 3 options. Is he going to do this, this, or this? And then that's the varied states. And that branches off, okay, now you have 3 other options off this state or this one. But when you bring in the military guys, it's like, okay, his state of being is, okay, now I have these other options. Maybe I have these 5 selections of different things I'm going to do. And his animations associated with those states of being are totally different.
Yeah,
right?
I can see that.
And so, like, boom, okay, I see this. I'm communicating with a guy. Okay, I go to a knee. Okay, yep, firing a little bit. Okay, reload, adjust, make adjustments to my weapon. Okay, he's coming out, tap him. I was like, that's so good. I was like,
it was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. To me, when the soldiers come in, that looked like players playing to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So that, I mean, as far as I know, that could have been a bunch of CIG devs with controllers just sitting there doing that.
Look at our AI. Look how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's honest God truth. And when it looks that good, if you don't have name tags, could fool you. I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
I like that. I like that. So. Good
That's true.
stuff.
I actually do like it right now. Even in the PU, now that you mentioned it, sorry. Right now I get attacked, and at first you're getting attacked by ships, and I'm always like, oh, am I getting stream sniped? Am I getting like griefed by troll or whatever? It doesn't always, whatever. And then you realize pretty quickly.
Right?
Yeah, but you realize pretty quickly that there's like, oh, they're NPCs because of their skill level. Like you're just like, oh, those ships attack. Oh, they're an Avenger. They're just not doing anything.
But how about when we were in the Starfarer? I was riding with you, and the one guy chases all the way to atmosphere, and he's blowing us up. And it took us a bit. We're arguing on the clip about if it's AI or not. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, okay. And then he blows us all up with an Avenger in a Starfarer. I was like. No, it's clipped. It's got like 58 views on it. So it's like,
of course it does.
Yeah, so good.
But anyways, no. So like we already have that, and I think that's kind of cool. And obviously, the closer, the better they get, the more interesting they get, the harder it's going to be able to tell. And I think that's kind of cool. So.
Yep. Crazy sauce.
Yep.
Here's another part that I really liked. I love this jacket.
Everybody said that. Like everybody who's seen it has just been like, I want to buy that jacket in real life. Like,
I do. I want that jacket. I want that leather jacket.
Wow. If we've learned anything about CIG merchandising,
they don't. They just leave the cool stuff in the game. They don't put it out for us.
Yeah.
I love
nice jacket though.
I love it.
Just the detail. I mean, the wear and the leather and the wrinkles and the just everything.
Yeah.
So real.
I want to say Squadron 27.
Yeah. That one's 118.
I know.
Squadron 118. Oh, okay.
27 is fine.
Oh, you went to it. Okay.
I like 27. But that was, I mean, I love, and this is something else, the last thing I'll say about Squadron 42, little synopsis they did. I love how they show elements of Squadron 42 that aren't just important just to people who want Squadron 42. I like how they show mechanics and then state how it carries over, and it still binds to the PU as well, right? It binds the MMO. Like, these mechanics are also being used for this, and that's one of the advantages of making these games side by side. And they constantly reiterate that, because it's like, that way nobody's like, oh, I don't care about this. You know, they're watching from both ends, and they've done that consistently all year long with every little preview of Squadron 42 they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're helping engage the people that before might be like, I don't care about a single-player game. I just want the MMO. I really feel like they're really capturing that audience and getting more people excited about Squadron 42 that maybe wouldn't have been. So I think they're doing a great job on that aspect.
Yeah. Scanning.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a victim of success again. Yeah, exactly. It was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm still really happy to see it.
I'm salty because
I want the
golf
always.
swing
Well, let's
back.
hear. Yeah, it was right there. You missed it. Didn't you see the golf swing?
Right there. Watch it.
Watch
it.
Watch it in the middle of this when he goes.
You'll
in
get
there.
your golf swing.
You'll get your golf swing.
Oh,
Watch the middle of the thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, there's no golf swing." And she's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do the guy," and it's right there. Watch the middle of your screen. Whoop. There's your golf swing, and everybody's like, "Oh, I hate the golf swing." Really? You hate it now? Because look at that. It's right there in the middle.
Looks fine to me.
Looks good from my house. Okay, that was it. That was the whole show. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Oh, let's go back a little bit.
If you don't like it, don't scan. Please.
I want to hear from Drones first on this one. So
God.
Don't say anything for you.
You want to hear from me? You want to hear from me first?
No.
Okay.
I want to hear Drones first in this one.
Okay, go Drones.
Give me your impressions of what you think about the scanning, what you think about the way that they're doing it with the blobs and stuff like that. Just tell me what you think. What do you like or dislike about it? Tell me.
I like it. Like, I think it's done right. A ping goes out, makes you a little bigger of a signature. You get back fuzzy results until you start focusing down on something, and then you get better and better results. That's kind of what I would expect and what I would want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know in the RTV they were talking about how, you know, you have the example given of if your ship's signature is 1,000, just as a random hypothetical number, that might equate to 1 unit per meter. So you have a signature that extends 1,000 meters. My passive scanning might extend 5,000 meters around my ship, which means if you're within 6,000 meters, I can see you. That's simple, because it's where you cross my radar. So the passive radar sounds cool. This looks like an amazing way to do the long range radar. So I like it, man. I dig it. I think it's the right way to go. I like that it's fuzzy and not guaranteed on point. Like, it shouldn't be an instant, oh, hey, I did a ping and now I can immediately warp to something.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's good. I think you hit the nail on the head. Toy, what do you think about it? Because I know you got some salt.
No.
No, he hates it.
I love everything about
he
it,
hates
other
it.
than the fact that
Why do you hate it
I
so
want to
much?
make
Toy?
sure that those blobs don't obscure your actual vision of the object either. So
Yeah.
so you can still identify, you know, if you see a ship in that blob, but you're close enough that you can either zoom in with your little zoom key or whatever, that you could still see that ship and that blob isn't, you know.
That's one thing that's an interesting point. I wonder if this is like a scanning overlay that you can toggle on and off. Like you know what I mean? Like, is it always going to be on your HUD like that when you're, or if you go out of a scanning mode, will it like clear that and you'll just get where you visually see? I don't know. Too bad the few doesn't have any comments on this, because, you know, I would.
Sorry, I muted myself. Shit. I muted myself. I was gonna say, I would hope that if you're close enough to see the ship when you do a scan, it would give you more detailed information about the closed ship. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I imagine most of this is for like things that are more than 10 kilometers away from you for the most part. You know what I mean? Maybe not, but you can't see most things at 5 kilometers even, really, most ships.
Yeah, it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would assume most of it is either at the edge of visual range or, you know what I mean, like to some degree, like right there. Because I agree with Toy. I wouldn't want it to be like, oh look, there's Retaliator there. I scan it, and all of a sudden it's a blob.
Yeah, I think things that come with
it.
I think things that come within close range of you will probably just automatically show up and be pre-scanned. You know what I mean? Like once it enters the bubble of your ship's auto-scanning capability of like, wow, you've just entered in like the 5-kilometer radius. We've detected you. Whoop,
and like chat just said, Scab said in there, he said, you know, maybe this is the point where you'd see a Connie send out a snub to investigate. Those are great things. Yeah, absolutely. This type of stuff, if it's you know, a mass out there and you don't know what it is for sure,
and you don't want to risk your big ship,
why not? That's
the
perfect.
Hide your big ship, go out with a snub.
Yeah, because you know, the more just a side note, the more and more I think of a snub fighter actually fighting any of the fighters that have come into the game at this point to defend the Connie is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
like you know, like oh, a snub fighter will help. You know, defend your Connie. It won't do shit. Like, what will happen is the snub will become a sacrificial lamb for one of your co-pilots to, like, ram into the enemy ship as hard as they can to be a torpedo for your constellation is what it will be.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think...
so true.
I think I like this mechanic a lot because it also provides intrigue. You don't know if that's a pilot. You don't know if it's danger. You don't know if it's an anomaly. You don't know fully what it is until you either run a closer scan, a more intense scan, ping it, or something else. So it's like, do you want to take the risk to go farther with it? Or is it just like, hey, there's stuff there. We've got a fully loaded ship, guys. Maybe now's not the time to go that deep into it. I love that.
You send out a ping and all of those blobs turn into Klingon bird of prey.
There you go.
Oh, crap.
Like, give me one ping. Oh, bird of praise. Yes, we are effed. So I think it's cool. I think it's a cool mechanic. I can't wait to see how we utilize it in game and how it actually plays out. So it's going to be exciting. The next element they talk about here within scanning, I believe, is the rocks and mining. When you actually physically see an entity, because this is going to be the first iterations of scanning we really get into, is going to revolve around mining and detecting different deposits, like what we have here. So gives you a little bit more information. It's kind of assessing the materials found within the object as opposed to like just, hey, there's a mass of something out there, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. I think this is pretty cool too, but let's hear from the few. What do you think of what we've seen in the scan results for mining aspects? Is there something missing that you wish they had? Is this kind of like, hey, this is really cool where they're at with it? What do you think?
I mean, for now, Tier 0, it's perfect, right? I feel like, well, almost perfect. It's the right gameplay, right? It's not the instant reward. It helps you. You search, you find a group of mineable objects. You're like, okay, cool. I'm hoping that when you do the distance search for mineable objects, you should be able to get a sense, maybe I'm wrong, but of like the kind of minerals that are generally there. Like, hey, we're at a planet and we detect that this planet has high in iron or something. Before you go all the way down to the planet to like look at the rocks and realize, oh, nope, it's just aluminum or something. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
But overall, which I don't think they talked about that. Like, I think right now you have to get all the way down. Yeah, right now you have to, like, you can say, here's mineable rocks. Of course, I'm a feeling though that every planet we go to, every moon we go to for the foreseeable future is going to have mineable rocks. So that's going to be a no duh, right? So
yeah, if it doesn't, then we're going to have a lot of people on top of the same rock waiting to mine it. So.
Exactly, and it's a little bit of like, what's the point of saying, yeah, there's mineable rocks here, if we know that? What is that right click to? Okay, anyways,
I'll show you.
Okay, I was gonna say, but like, what's the point of having the mineable rocks show up at the distance right now if they're going to be everywhere? So we'll see. I do like the idea of getting.
Well, he did say they made unmineable rocks. I think they gave it purpose. So I think that's probably the why.
But he said those unmineable rocks are just there to like fill in the gaps, but that they'll go away as you get closer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's gonna be like here's a whole bunch of rocks as you get closer, all of them disappear. You know what I mean? It'll just be a handful of them disappear. So
again, it's probably just testing the mechanic in a smaller side of what we're doing. But I do like seeing this stuff where you see like where it says calculating instability, resistance stuff. So you're getting some feedback before you even start drilling, so that way you know how to approach mining the rock, right? Because we got to deal with power level, laser intensity, all those aspects to it. I think they're pretty important as far as the mechanic goes for how we're going to do it. I would like to know more about what this is, like container status. Things of this, because I've looked at this image a lot. I'm like, it actually opens up a whole lot of questions for me on the Prospector. Like, what does that do? Does that mean my container's full? Or does it mean my container can break?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, it's 100%. It's 100% what? 100% full, 100% not broken, 100%. I don't know. What's that? Yeah. I don't know what that means.
We don't know.
I don't know. It's like 100% there. It's still attached to my ship. I mean, it's 100%. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Power transfer graph. I'm like, okay. I don't know what they. I don't know. I want to know. I'm gonna need the little instruction manual on what this means for my ship. So, can't wait. I just like looking at this.
It is beautiful.
It's going to be really interesting. Because think about it, like most of these rocks are, at least some level, destructible.
Yeah. Finally, we can make a race course without rocks.
Yeah, bring in the prospectors just to drill a path. So that way you got to... We want to make this flat for racing. Oh, okay. We'll come into mine a little bit.
Make some money and
Yeah. And I also like how you can see, like, as it analyzes more stuff, it shows the complete mass. And then it's calculating, I guess, the percentage of what that has in the overall mass. I guess quartz, aluminum, tungsten. Again, that container's 100%, so it's ready to do something. I don't know though.
It's full. You can't get any more.
And, what's danger sensor? 85%. I'm like, what? Shattering sensor? Huh? 75%.
What's the difference between danger and shattering?
I don't know. And what's the instability and resistance on the opposite side with circles, and then it's got a sine wave going? I don't understand these graphs, and I want to know more.
Am I gonna have to go to school?
Yeah. Am I gonna have to am I have to go buy back my oscilloscope so I can create a sine wave in order to actually mine a rock? I don't know, because it's like power transfer graph, and it's like, well, it looks stable. It's completely.
I'm gonna have to go study all my Fourier equations or whatever they were.
Well, just wait. Along with their new camera for FOIP, they're gonna have a new controller, and it won't be a flight stick. It'll be like a little, looks like an oscilloscope with little knobs on it. So you have to create a wave in order to create perfect stability in your laser, so that way you don't like shatter the planet and destroy.
I'm oddly okay with this.
Oh my god! And it's only gonna cost $299, but it'll have LTI, so you can just mail it back in for replacement whenever you want. I don't know. Laser throttle, deposit, power. What? How do I get the feeling when I get it, it's none of that's going to actually do anything. It's going to be like, left click to power up your laser, shoot. It's like, let go when it gets nasty red looking. Oh, I remember that, Blood, but I just want to know, like, what all those other things do. I don't know. I'm unawares.
Things for sure. We're gonna find out.
I also firmly believe that Aaron Carey Davis wears blue to bring out his eyes, because
I think so.
I think he does.
I think so. It works well though.
It does work.
Works very well.
Yep. Ship shape. How many people saw Disco's shirt and smiled? Because I love that.
The Godzilla shirt?
Well, it's a mashup shirt, actually. I
can't tell.
It's Godzilla and E.T. It's where E.T. flies over the moon and Godzilla captured and it's like eating the kids. So I was like, oh, I saw that. I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so good. I love it. I swear to God, every time he wears a jacket like that, it reminds me of my buddy who we'd go to nice restaurants, and he'd always have to borrow the Lunar jacket. Yeah. He was always like, "Oh, you don't have a jacket, sir? Well, you have a Lunar jacket. You'll have to wear that. You might have to take off your ball cap, though."
Unless you're a famous celebrity, then you can keep it.
Yeah, then it's whatever. Well, that guy can't. Well, when you make $4.6 million in your last film, you can wear what the hell you want. Oh, come on, Eclipse. This thing's just a thing of beauty. The main things I want to see in this are they actually show like some of the Eclipse actually in action, and it looks so good. I mean, even the sorry,
the ships are beautiful. I really, before we go into the Eclipse, I really do hope that they'll let us eventually have like a Jay Leno's garage kind of a thing going on.
Oh,
like, I just want to be able to put all my ships in a garage, walk around.
But they used to have that, right?
I know, way back in the day.
And then they shrunk it down to, hey, you can put any 2 ships you have that you want.
Yeah, I want my Jay Leno's garage. I want to get my gray cat and just drive around and look at all the ships. And
I want to be able to bring my buddy in there too and be like, hey, oh, you've never seen a Eclipse fit inside an Idris with a Polaris and a Hammerhead? Well, let me take you over there to the East Wing.
Yeah, it would make it so easy, like. For streaming too, you're just like everybody's like, oh, what ships do you have, or like that's in the game. It'd be just nice, like, let me take you to my garage and let's just drive around and do a tour instead of having to like spawn them and despawn them.
And that's what they used to do, and now it's like, they say, oh, we did it for optimization or something. I'm like, I don't know.
HC Vertigo. Sorry, I know we don't. But...
yeah. We don't call out HC Vertical. No, I'm just kidding. Everyone else finds that guy. That guy. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah. Coming in to judge us.
Yeah. I feel judged already.
I know. Oh, man.
This ship just looks so smexy.
I know. I miss the old hangars. I want to just go drive around. It looks like a good ship. Man. So they talked about... They've never animated the front, right? They said that you get in because the front opens up like a beak or something. I don't even... They've never shown an entrance-exit animation, have they?
I'm trying to remember if they did or not. They showed the wings doing their thing.
Yeah, the wings do it, but because you're not going to get in the ship and walk through it. I think it's a sit-down.
No, I thought you loaded in it like a. Gladiator.
And also, was this the first video they've confirmed for sure that the ship will fit in a
Idris?
In the Idris? Because I think we've always assumed so. But I think it was the first time CIG confirmed it.
I think it's the first time they've actually documented and confirmed it. I think they've kind of confirmed it in threads before, but I don't think there was an official statement until here. But they said they even designed the wings when they were talking about it. They designed the wings so that it would fit in the Idris, and I think that was part of the design thought process when they're making it.
Yeah.
So, and if you think about it, this ship is fairly thin from nose to butt, right? It's not a really long ship. They've even said in here it's about the same length as the size 9 torpedoes, which it carries. It's just a few feet longer than that. It's not that much more. So you're really getting a comparison. If you look at it also in the ship matrix as far as size, I think you could fit 3 or more of these. They say 3. I think you can fit 3 or more of these in the Idris, depending on how you want to pack them, because they're just very narrow. From there, it's like you could just kind of, if you
get it 4 of those in an Idris, holy cow.
I know. I'm like, think about that. You have Idrises taking out javelins. Because 4 of those in Idris, right? That's 12 size 9 torpedoes plus a railgun.
Plus, what you could do is you could have 4 of them in Idris. You go to a location, you deploy all of them, right? They're stealth, so they go hide somewhere. You use the Idris as like some sort of like honeypot. The javelin goes, ooh, I could take out the Idris. It's all by itself. Comes in, doesn't realize it gets flanked by 4 stealth bombers.
Yeah, it's like,
and then done. No, but if you take off the wingtips on it, like this picture that we see right here, it kind of looks like the Raven.
Yep. To a certain degree, it does. Has similar body frame.
Yep.
I gotta admit, I don't give a shit about the bomber. I still don't, but it does look nice.
I love it. I have one.
This is another one of the ships
that.
I was very resistant to getting. I did end up. I originally had one and I melted it. I'm definitely thinking about buying it back now, because I've had it in buyback. I bought extras in buyback. I was a little bit worried about whether it would be fun to mess with inside the alpha. I knew it would be very relevant inside the actual, beta and after launch and stuff like that as far as a tactical tool. But it just looks so much fun to me now. Because it's like, think about all the pain in the butts we go through to always include the Retaliator inside our streams and stuff. Because we want it for these purposes. To have like a single-seater ship that's smaller, more acceptable and all that stuff to be able to take out there and do stuff with. I think we're going to see Torpedoville happen at the launch at 3.2. Yeah. I think no 600i will survive anything. I think you're going to just... It's like, hey, guys, look at my 600. Boom. Oh. This is what's going to happen.
Good thing I have a few of each.
Yeah.
But like...
Well, they call you the few.
Yeah. No. Yeah, exactly. Why they call me... That's true.
Yeah.
Also, I
got a few
crashes now and then every once in a while too.
Yeah.
Sure.
A few craters on every moon belong to me.
Yeah.
No. So, anyways, though,
he's just got a few Legatus packs.
Okay. If only, right?
Yeah. Too many jokes.
See, keep going. So, I've heard there's been a whole bunch of discussion around this, and I see it coming up in chat too. So I just want to talk about it a little bit. But and I think Madness even posted an article questioning about it. But it's like this ship, and I think that for me, I don't have a problem with it because this ship's always been designed. Isn't it designed to be a short-range bomber? It's not a long-range bomber, right?
It's short-range.
People are like saying, well, it's not going to be very combat effective because it only has 3 torps. You're going to have to hit, and then you're going to have to take you a day to reload the thing because you have to fly back to a moon and reload it with torps and all that jazz, right? But I think that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's not supposed to be fire, reload, fire. It's like you're part of a battle, you fire your torps, your part of the battle is probably over. Like when you go into a org battle with this this ship, and you were a part of a fleet in an Idris or something, yeah, you may be able to reload and get back in the battle, but odds are you're gonna fire your torps in a very strategic way, hopefully. You're going to do the damage you were supposed to do, helping take out an Idris, right? Which, by the way, if that's all you did in the battle was take out an Idris, I'm sorry, but you did a really freaking good job in that battle. Yeah, you win that battle. Yeah, I think this idea of people thinking that they're going to... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of people who think that you're going to need to take these ships and constantly be in a battle nonstop and be able to fight and reload and fight and reload. And I just don't know if that's
they're
the expectation
squadron-based
for these kind of
ships. I really think that's another thing that people are missing too. I agree with you. Because, again, we have to go back to the aspect that Chris Roberts really wants the way air combat, or space combat in this case, to work is along the World War II lines, right? And think about torpedo bombers. Torpedo bombers in World War II hitting larger ships and whatnot, they were a one-shot deal. They made a pass. They dropped a torpedo. That was it. That was their role. And they didn't make multiple passes with torpedoes and stuff. Do that. They all dropped it. And
I took it, Mitt, when we discussed this when I was watching this live was there's this huge misconception that you have a fleet as a person. You don't. You have a person as a person. That person is on board a ship, which may or may not be the pilot of the ship. So you may be doing some secondary role on board a ship, but as an Eclipse, you're not intended to be alone. I make it if you think about the stealth bombers in Eve, for those that can relate to that, the stealth bomber in Eve, if it's by itself, really the only thing it's going to do is harass bigger ships, maybe annoy a small fleet. Maybe you get lucky and you get a kill on some small ship because it got caught out of position.
Cheap mining ship out of position or something like that.
Right. You took a cheap shot, you got lucky, good. Okay, but for the most part, if you're by yourself, you're a harassment vessel.
Yeah.
That's it. If there's a fleet of 4 or 5 of you accompanied with maybe some fighters as a protection wing, you're going to be nasty. You're going to be something people don't want to run into. Because if you come up against you know, we can use an Idris, a Javelin, anything like that. If you come up against one of those and you have a fleet of like, let's call it 10 of these drop size 9s right on top of it before it can react, it's fucked.
Yep.
Then you want your real fleet to come in and finish it off because it'll be weapons. It'll be
this is not. This might be a solo piloted ship, but it is not a solo ship.
Correct.
That's the way I perceive it too. It is meant to be either assisted, protected, or I have always pictured them in wings of like anywhere from like 4 to 6 units of these, and that's how they're going to hit targets. I think it's even going to be ineffective against like constellations when they get done tweaking things, because unless you drop all your payloads, you're not going to do anything, and they all hit, and you don't get hit back. Which also I'd like to point out when we're even looking at the flight mechanics of the ship and everything, it turns very slowly. It's not meant to. It's meant to pass by, just like a torpedo bomber in World War II. It passes past and on and gets out of there. It doesn't hang out and make banking turns and come back again. And we also don't know the launch range of this yet.
Yeah, we don't either. And I think this is the ship that you're going to have sitting on the side of the battle until the shields on the Idris go down and they're like, oh, they're exposed, right? And and maybe the Idris is trying to get ready to pull out and evacuate and escape so they can repair and come back to the battle at a later point, or maybe everybody's in retreat. And you're like, oh, they're retreating with that Idris? Well, let's get some real financial damage done to them. And all of a sudden, these like torp bombers come out of nowhere. And as the Idris is trying to get away so they can recover their financial loss that they're going to have, these torps hit, and then boom, the whole ship goes up, and the org that you were fighting against really.
I love the way the launcher looks too. The launcher's badass. I love the mechanics.
I agree too.
Stuff. Looks really good.
So,
we won't be fitting any dragonflies or Noxes inside the hole of this ship.
I know. I was like, as soon as I thought, I was like, can I fit? No, okay.
Not in this one. This one's not out, but
not this time.
Amazing.
We did get a gray cat in the Retaliator, though.
Of course you did.
In the bay, the bomb bay, and we bombed with that gray cat. Yeah. That's beautiful.
It is. And you can see, the ship is almost
so pretty.
The length of the torpedo is almost 2/3 the size of the whole ship. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's some of the stuff you see. Like, let's watch a little mini video here. And you can see it deploying it, and your focus is mostly on the torpedo.
Yeah.
But you can even see, I don't think it's, I think it's going to be very slow to bank and turn. It's going to be one of those type of ships. And if you get caught and you're trying to be saucy, like, oh, just drop a bunch of torps. No, the advantage of a Retaliator, I think a Retaliator is going to be a launch able from much farther ranges, I hope. I hope this is going to be more of a, you're going to have to be within maybe.
Also, I picture the Retaliator as being more capable by itself in defending itself because of the turrets.
Yeah.
Once they get the turrets work, I would agree. I think that.
Also, the question is, will they make a version of it in the future where you can swap out the 3 torps for 1 Moab? Maybe.
Not without a whole module change.
Count on that.
Well, I mean, the one thing I would say is on the Retaliator, they are modular, where they can take out those bays, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So.
And the Moab is about the same size as that bay. I think it doesn't seem unrealistic.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of complexity of holding a bomb and letting it drop gravity-wise.
At most, it would hold then, what, 2 in one of those, I guess?
1 or 2, yeah. But even if it was 1
in each bay,
worth it.
like, that's it. And then the advantage is the Hercules can hold, like, 4 or whatever. And...
The Hercules is a larger target, too. You're risking a lot less financial capital. I don't know. I mean, it's super theory crafty, but I don't know. There could be huge strategic reasons why you'd rather use a stealth bomber like that for deployment. Never know.
That just looks good. But yeah, I think it's gonna be slow to turn like crazy. That looks so awesome. I'm unmelting one. Just know I am.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
That's all right.
I mean,
I can't believe I'm gonna be flying it like in a month or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
I like how rigid it looks too. It looks different. It doesn't have like these sweeping lines and all that stuff. I just love. It looks almost like a batarang.
Yeah, exactly.
For Batman, like it's like
the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Or Batplane or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You hate the holes in the wings? I love them. Just more stuff for your bullets to pass through because you can't hit this.
Yeah, it's like the Hammerhead tech.
Mm-hmm. So good. I'm excited for it. Ooh, there it is.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! I have big holes in my wings.
Just to make Heat Blood Finn mad.
Yep. You know what they're doing? That they put holes in the wings so they can make kid masks for CitizenCon. You'll have like the little paper mask you put on through it. It's like, I'm an Eclipse too. It's gonna be awesome. And we purposely muted this for you so you didn't have to list Disco sing Total Eclipse of the Heart.
You can listen to us sing it in sequence. Everybody, okay, no. I analyzed the hell out of that ship shape columns there. You look at all the ships that are everywhere, like trying to see if there's any like hidden secrets.
Yep.
I really want this the bangle behind this and Idris and Javelin. This one's a Jav there, actually.
Yeah, that's a Jav.
I want the Jav to like be on there. It's like, oh, it's final prep, right? That's what that means, right? If it's behind the panel, awesome? It's final prep.
Yep.
They mentioned, is it going to be on this week's Calling All Devs that they're changing the freelancer?
No, they're adding new freelancer variants, right? Or are they actually changing the freelancer itself?
I don't know.
That's such a troll. People have been waiting for like the other variants of freelancer, like the freelancer Max, forever.
Well, they have to. They do have to do upgrades to the freelancer because I don't think the current freelancer has item 2.0 port type stuff built into the actual interior, does it? For like the shield generators and you know what I mean, the things you'd have to swap or get access to.
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. Remember, everybody, make your Star Marine tutorials.
I did. Twitch.tv/directory/Star Citizen.
You did. I made I got an index card right here that has it all on it. Here, my tutorial notes. You want to hear it?
What's that?
Step 1. Buy a shotgun. Step 2. Map your shotgun key to your jump button. Step 3. Profit. That's it. There's your Star Marine tutorial. That's all you got to do.
Get my vote.
Done.
Jones' tutorial is step 1, buy a grenade. Step 2, pull the pin.
Step 3, try to run at your enemy. That's what you got to do. Yeah. Again, I think the studio updates are doing a bang-up job on. I think they're doing a great job on all the updates as far as the ships.
Yeah.
I think overall, things are going well in that aspect. There's a lot of people, and I find this interesting. A lot of people are still like, "Hey, when's 3.2 going to come out?" I'm like, "It's going to come out in beginning of July." They're like, "Oh, did they release a date?" I'm like, "Yeah, second quarter."
Yeah,
beginning second quarter, right then it's going to happen. And
yeah.
I don't see them letting them slip past those dates. They'll cut features before they do that.
I mean, when they say quarters, you can give them like a 48-hour fudge zone, but they generally mean like the day 1 of July.
And they've hit the first 2. I just don't see them ever coming down the wire and being like, "Yeah, we're going to wait a week," because I just feel like they would catch so much backlash at that point.
Yeah.
They won't do that. They'll release what they have,
and
then they might do an update a week later or something. But they'll release what they have on time.
Yeah, they'll just move stuff out, and I mean that'll also irk people because they'll say like, "Well, I guess obviously our throughput's not quite as much." Obviously people want content regardless, so some content's better than none.
That's right.
But being light or delivered too light on a release will also create some contention, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to watch RTV really because
I didn't either.
I was busy at FAM. Drones watched
you missed scanning.
Yeah, Drones will give us a quick summary since he watched it in detail.
I already did.
He's like, "Oh, it was scanning." That's just not that exciting. Was there any? Well, let's be serious for a second. Was there any interesting questions that was asked about scanning that they answered that gave you answers you didn't expect? What were some
did ask? Disco did ask about passing information amongst ships in your fleet. So, you know, have one guy dedicated to scanning. That's his role or his ship's role. Yes, absolutely a thing. But the one that they really kind of skirted around was, what if I want to have 4 scanning ships at the furthest reaches of my fleet, all passing back to a central location to get a better idea of a larger area? That seemed a bit uncertain. It wasn't a no, but it was, we're not sure how that's going to work. So that was kind of interesting to me. I would think that would be something you'd want.
But confirming scanning and data, like sending that data back, is such a big deal. Like, I mean, the gameplay like implications, like, I mean, scouting becomes a thing for sure, but it's like more or less like you can have stealth bombers that are sitting back flying, right? And you could have one like Gladiator, Gladius, or something else flying forward, who's quite a bit up in front of your stealth bombers, and it's actively pinging to hell in a handbasket to see who's out there, and they'll see that this ship is flying around, but they won't know that you have like 3 or 4 stealth bombers and lurking behind, right? So I think that's amazing. Yeah, that's going to create such interesting gameplay.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That would be pretty exciting. But yeah,
that was about it though for the RTV. There wasn't a lot more to it than, you know, it was a scanning discussion, but I feel like we've already covered that enough.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Well, guys, if you have any questions you'd like to ask the panel, you can always ask those under ! questions in chat. That is plural, by the way, questions. And then you can actually put those out there, and we'll put them in the spreadsheet, and we'll check them out for you. Anything related to this week's development, anything related to Star Citizen topics in general, hot button issues, anything like that you would like anybody on this panel to answer for you, or at least address, we're more than happy to do that for you. In the meantime, why don't we go around the room, see when everybody's going to be streaming, what you got coming up, all those awesome things, so we can kind of get that out there for everybody to find out. So we'll start out with Mr. Drones. What do you got going on this weekend?
I will be back live Sunday at 10:30 in the morning. I'm debating, honestly, between Star Citizen and Raft. I've been kind of addicted to it. I've been doing a little fishing while we've been doing the show. And,
okay.
Yeah, so
catch anything good out there?
Yeah, I've killed a couple of sharks, which is always fun.
All right. Sounds good. Toy?
I don't know if I'll stream tonight, maybe. Depends, is raid time. Yeah, raid time's almost over. I like streaming for raid time lately. If we just keep blowing at bases. Lots of pretty explosions. So so probably tomorrow, definitely. Maybe later tonight.
Okay. The Few, what do you got going on this weekend?
Tomorrow morning, we're going to bring back Grey Cat Sumo. That's going to be the Grey Cat Sumo weekend.
Yeah. Woohoo! I had to drop by for that.
Yeah, you should. I'm not sure if it's going to be full-blown, like 16 tournament style thing, but depending on interest, it may be. So, but either way, there's going to be a tournament. There's going to be prizes. There's going to be, of course, starter pack giveaways that I do on Saturdays as well. So stop by. It'll be a fun time.
Around what time are they going to find that again?
11-ish, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So
okay.
I don't know what that is. 11:30 noon. Stop by around then. It usually takes like an hour to really pick up and get everything organized.
Watch for his tweets, because his tweets are hot. Because
when they come out.
Yeah, because those tweets are so hot. That's who won the Optane drive, was somebody who followed him on Twitter.
That's true.
So he needs to be tweeting more. So yeah. So
very nice.
Congrats on that.
Yep.
Very good. He's super proud of his Twitter. It almost has, what is it, like 50?
50. It's like a little over 50 tweets now.
50 tweets.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. almost like you know, one a day for the last couple months, almost, but not really.
Almost.
We're gonna keep giving crap about his Twitter until he actually uses it all the time, consistently. He's doing a good job. Yep. He's trying, and that's all we can ask. Tomorrow I'll be in the morning. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend the Grey Cat Sumo because I'll be over at garage sale helping my grandmother. set up her garage sale and do that for a little while, and doing general family stuff. But I will be back tomorrow afternoon / evening, and be jamming out on some things and stuff. I don't know exactly which game yet, but we'll find out. It may be Star Citizen, it may be something else, or it might be a hybrid of multiple. I know we still have some State of Decay to do. Very interested in checking out Raft as well. So I might have to be linking up for that when we get a little more information on that. And then there's about 4 other games that are coming out. One thing I do know we have coming up, besides the amazing giveaway that we're doing right now for SBG Gaming for the 600i this month, that you guys are going to be able to get some extra bonus tickets both on the Fuse Channel, mine, Moist Noodles, and Scorpions. We're going to also be doing, for those people on the team that want to be involved with it, an E3 special SpaceBroShow that may or may not follow the entire event, or we might do one a night just for like a little hour block or something like that, where we're going to talk about some of our favorite games we see during the E3 broadcasts, and kind of give a synopsis and information on some of that, and just see some other cool games coming up.
CIG's going to have a presence at E3 this year.
Yeah, but it's only it's the same thing they did in 2015 as the PC gaming show, which for those people who remember, that element of E3's PC gaming show was a 2 to 3 minute little blurb that was like a recorded thing, something. So I don't expect it to be something huge. It will be a good video to watch, but it was like a pre-recorded, hey, check this out, and it was mostly Chris standing there in front of the studio saying, we're filming with really big names like Gary Oldman and Mark Hamill to make this amazing Squadron 42 whole motion cap thing. Here, look at these guys in their tights. That's what it was last time. So it wasn't really, it was okay.
This time it's going to be really amazing, though. I know.
It will. If it has an Eclipse in it and a Javelin and a couple of bangers, it'll be really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect with it, because usually, I will say this about the PC gaming show, it is generally just looks like a marketing and advertisement hollow thing. Much like a lot of the presentations and stuff, but if you watched, I watched a lot of the other presenters on the PC gaming show, and it went kind of like this. The host was there. Hey, how are you doing today? Haven't seen you in a while. What do you got to show us today? Well, John, I have this amazing game that we've been making, blah, 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 blah. And that's literally the canned synopsis back and forth where it was. Then they show a clip of the thing, and they're like, that's great. Next guy, hey, I haven't seen you since the Atari. It's like, okay, God damn it. So they haven't really impressed me with the PC gaming show at any E3. It's like almost like their softball thing to say, hey, I know all we did was talk about console games the whole E3, but here's some PC games. There's PCs too. It feels like a very secondary prize. Hopefully they start to improve it and make it a little better, but it's really, that's what it was the whole time.
Yeah.
So let's see. What else we got going on this month? Some other stuff we're not ready to announce yet. A special project me and the few will be working on.
Yep.
And we'll talk more about it this month. And that's all I'm going to tell you. All right. So, yeah, other than that, there you go. Let's see if we got any questions. We'll look at the doc and see. If not, it might be that much shorter of a show. It's not that short. We actually have gone quite a while. I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's true. We did ramble a bit, and I could use a sleep, so.
Yeah. Well, then definitely ask a lot of questions, because we don't want to let the few off that early. Question number 1: how did you get your? No, I'm just kidding. How did you get your name?
How did I get what?
Your name.
My. Hey, who asked that question?
There is no real question. I was lying.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
But there are questions. There's
Disco asked me that question.
We have 12 questions tonight.
Ooh.
Somebody knew the few wanted to go.
That's a lot of questions.
It is a lot of questions for us.
Okay, all right, let's go through.
All right, we're gonna go through them. We're gonna knock these out. Cyberwolf asked the first 4 questions. First one is Cyberwolf's questions. Is we have seen this ATV. What scanning system looks like from the cockpit of the Prospector? What do you imagine it'll look like from the rear seat of a Terrapin? Like, how will it be different? I
always imagine, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I always imagine sitting in that seat and you're in the middle of the seat, and all of a sudden, you know, like in X-Men, like the original, not the original X-Men, but the one with Picard in it. Anyways, how he gets it is the mind thing, and all of a sudden that spherical wall turns. Yeah, Cerebro, and it turns into like a visual thing. I always imagine sitting down in that center seat, and all of a sudden the walls of the Terrapin become kind of like holographically around you, and you kind of see outside.
I think that's what everybody wants.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just saying that's how I imagine it. I
haven't had that happen to me since I was 22.
Yeah.
So that was a whole different type of thing.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. Yeah, I think that'd be really awesome. Toy, you got any thoughts on that? What do you think the interface will look like differently on Terrapin scanning versus like what we saw in the video?
I don't know. They talked about how the higher end ships, it would be, you know, more directional. So there'll probably just be a lot more options on the screen. Instead of just the basic scanning options, you'll probably have a lot more boxes, a lot more check stuff for doing some detailed scans.
That's cool. Drones, any thoughts?
I'm with the few on that one. I want that to be kind of like the whole like immersion thing. You know, put me in the map, in the Terrapin, and you know, and then I think we all kind of expect more of the holo viewer type stuff on bigger stuff. So like the Javelin. You know, we want that big sphere that shows a three-dimensional overlay of pretty much the entire arena where we're going to be.
That way, when I put my VR on, I can
actually get probably going to be a little lackluster.
I want to pinch and pull it and stuff and swipe planets out of the way. It's like, oh, spin it around. Yeah. Oh, look, what's this right here? Spin the globe. You know,
I know what we want. I don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, that would be cool. I really hope is like what I pictured the remote turrets will operate like, you know, where you're looking through a camera system, like a perspective of that, and you're scanning, and that seat will rotate, and you'll see three-dimensional space scanning like that. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be, maybe it's not full VR, but I'm looking at a panel, and it's like they're saying in chat, exactly my thoughts. It's like a periscope, and my heads-up display is whatever I see, and it scans that direction. And, you know, it's like already pinging all the way around, but my visual is like, which way? That way I have gameplay where I have to adjust my seat to kind of get that detailed scan. So it's not just like everything all the time.
That's the point of VR, though. That's why I like it. It's like you're in the seat. What's the point? What's the point of a spinning seat if you aren't surrounded by the map? And I like the idea of it just being the map surrounding you full vision, but obviously it's like loose scanning. You're only like narrow scanning what's in front of you or something, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, something like that would be cool. We'll see.
That would be cool.
How it all pans out. All right, next question. What's your best guess for Evocati PTU this month? Toy.
Like when?
Yeah. Just guessing.
A couple more weeks.
Okay. Drones.
When it's ready.
Phew.
And when am I going to be ready? Like I don't want to see, when do I want to jump in? I don't know. It's going to be at least 2 weeks. They're not all the way there on their and there's so many things they have to do. So I'm thinking like beginning maybe like the 20th or something. They'll probably Evocati it for like a week-ish, and then they'll give you like 3 or 4 days in the PTU, and then they'll go live. I hope so. I don't know.
I say Evocati by next Friday.
You think so?
Yep.
Don't do it next Friday. Like Eli's coming to town. I won't be able.
Next Friday, it'll be on there. Because they're gonna have to start doing iterations in case everything's messed up. They got too many things coming in.
I know.
I cannot believe that they'd try to test mining within a 1 week period.
And that's true. They do that with Evocati, I think, where they
do iteratives.
They iterate. They don't release the entire version of 3.2. Right. They release pieces of it just for testing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm betting next Friday.
Yeah, I would see that.
If it's not
but
out
mining's
by the 15th,
not done.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
But we don't know what we're going to get for mining anyway. It's only tier 0. We might just get a real smidgen.
I mean, on their roadmap, when they say mining tier 0, there's like, I think still like 30 or 40% of the tasks left.
Well, they also say that, like, what was it? The Eclipse only has 12 out of 40 some tasks, and we're seeing it fly around in a video and shoot stuff. So,
that's true.
So I have no idea what the other 37 tasks are, but you know, I was like, whatever. Yeah, I take those numbers with real grain of salt because I just
that's true.
You know, they could update it today, and it's like, oh look, we're now 3 tasks away from done. I'm like, what? You like suddenly got 30 tasks done? What happened? All right, next question. During the ship shape portion of ATV, they mentioned the Eclipse having 3 transformations. I know the regular flight mode in space with the wings extended. The second mode with the wings pulled in for landing. But what is the third mode? I don't even remember them saying there was 3 flight modes. To be honest.
I remember they saying there was 3
one.
I do remember them saying there was 3 transformations for something. Was it the Eclipse?
I don't know.
I don't remember it. So
I think it was. Yeah, no, I think it was, and I agree. And I do remember that statement. I don't remember why or what it was for though. Maybe it was for atmospheric flight or anything. I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Pass.
Let's make it up. Okay.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's Atmo, but I didn't know that was a mode. Oh, because Gecko's saying atmosphere, space, and landing. Okay.
Okay, then maybe it was Atmo. Interdimensional travel.
Yeah. Teleportation.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen the trailer of Memories of Mars? And is anyone thinking of maybe streaming it? It looks a lot like Osiris New Dawn.
I haven't seen it.
Yes, I've seen it, and I would consider it. I'm not saying I will, just that I'll consider it.
Yeah, I'd say yes and possibly.
Looks really good.
It looks really good, but it also looks like a lot of other stuff. So I'm kind of like on the fence. I need to do a little more research, to be honest. Because the fact that like I also have Osiris New Dawn and never played it, because I've seen a few people stream it, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's all right. I don't know. We'll see. Next question. Let me find out who it's from, because all those were Cyberwolves. The Fused Conscience.
What?
That's who asked the question. Would CIG ban my account for using a bug to get to Hurston? Is there something that...
The answer is they could.
Is there something there we're not supposed to see?
And first of all, I'm convinced Hurston's not in the game right now, but I've just been trying to get there to prove it. But I think there's already video on YouTube in 3.0 that basically proves that Hurston's not in the game. So, but no, I don't think they're going to ban you for doing anything that's related to testing in 3.0 or 3.1 or goofing off. You're having fun. You're having fun in the game. How dare you ban the account?
Yeah. Well, I can show you the reason why they will never ban you for doing that. In just 1 second here, I'll find it. What are your guys' thoughts on that same subject? Toy and drones. Ban them all?
I think that they have the option to do it if they see fit. It depends on how you do it, not the fact that you do it. If you do it with the, hey, I'm going to exploit this to get there, it's kind of a gray area. But if you do it as the, hey guys, let's test this and see what happens, that's a different approach.
If you're hacking the game code, if you're like going into your client and hacking your game code, yeah, you'll get banned, sure, whatever. But if you're using their bugs to do anything in the game, even if it gives you an advantage, like that's not hacking the game, like in my opinion. Maybe technically they can do whatever they want, sure, but they're not. Like they got to fix their bugs. Like, you know what I mean? Like if that's a problem.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hacking the game code or making changes to your client anyway whatsoever, it's I don't know.
This right here is the reason why you won't get banned. Because if this individual can be top of the elimination leaderboards on Star Marine, and they don't do anything about that, then yeah, you're safe. Don't worry about it. You're good. Hacker. Anyway.
Yeah.
Veclor asks, he says, what scanning gameplay mechanics would you like to see, such as scanning a damaged ship's debris tail when its power signature is too low to detect? Intentional? I love these really complicated worded things. So, scanning gameplay scanning gameplay mechanics would you like to see, such as scanning a damaged ship's debris tail when its power signature is too low to detect?
I mean, for me, I like the idea of deep scans and having to choose what do you scan first kind of gameplay, right? Like a ship, you're looking at a ship, it's coming in, and you're like going, is it hostile? Is it a threat? Are they smuggling? Are they friend or foe? Right? And you don't necessarily know until you see what they're carrying. And maybe it's like a freelancer, I don't know, like whatever. And you don't realize till last minute because you're scanning the wrong stuff that it's got like explosives and they're going to really just detonate next to you and kill everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really about priority scanning. And I think that kind of gameplay sounds cool. Like, if you don't scan the right things first or you don't make the right choices, maybe you won't find the information you need soon enough in order to make a decision that would save your life or make you more money.
Gotcha. Drones?
Yep. I don't know. I'm not like... I'm of the wait and see mentality. I just don't have a preference on it.
Okay.
He wants a shark scanner. He wants to scan for sharks that can stop them from eating his raft.
We better have fish finders in this or else we're in trouble. Personally,
laugh it up, boys, until you're on a moon fishing. All right.
Yeah.
And then
scanning mechanics I'd like to see. I'd like to see the ability to scan cargo. I'd like to see the ability of scanning for specific types of signatures that might only emanate from specific ships based on what their compositions are. I'd like to be able to scan for specific masks and IDs and different types of signal beacons. And there's all kinds of scanning I'd like to be able to do. But I would also want it to be complicated to the point where you'd actually have to have maybe specific pieces of scanning equipment or adjustments you have to make to your equipment in order to scan those things. And it's only available in the more higher end scanning ships.
Yeah.
Or big ships, or like the Endeavors and the Terrapins and different things of that nature. So it gets a lot more complicated when you get there. I don't want people turning their Hornets in like scan boats. I just, you know, even a tracker, the big advantage should be the amount of signal strength it has, not the modularity of how it can change scanning. The only thing that should have maximum scanning capability should be the Endeavor in the end, with like the if you have the super scanning thing, and it's like a whole roll where you can sit down, or multiple teams can sit down and scan different things off the same radar dish, like all sorts of stuff like that.
Do you think they'll be like, I don't know what kind of scanning tech they're going to have, but like, do you think they'll have some modules where you could, like, you know, you have your scan module, whatever it's going to be in the component of the ship, and you have the sub modules. Do you think you'll be able to like upgrade the module to be better at scanning through shields or not shields, or like, I don't know, like I think
on those type of ships, yes, because it's a whole module you attach to the ship for the component, like for the whole apparatus on the exterior. I would be fine with that. Or even like when they talk about repair, where you have to mix and make different polys together in order to repair ships, same thing. Maybe I have to like tune different frequencies. If I want to scan for these things, we have to line it up, and then I have to send pulses out or something of that nature to find these specific items and then narrow the field down, right? Like we shift the dish this way and we have to narrow it down because I picked up something that direction and do it. And that's like a whole job. Like he could sit there and do that. So I think that would be really good. But you are going to have like the Endeavor, or you're going to have a full-on scanning ship to do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like that. I think that you need that kind of, otherwise what's the point, right? Of getting those ships to begin with.
Absolutely. All right. Next question is from Veclor. No, this one's from Cyberwolf, actually. CIG is going to be on the PC Gamer Show, E3. If not or did we already do this one?
Maybe. I don't think so.
No, I didn't. It's going to be on the PC Gamer Show at E3 on the floor. Crytek is also going to be on the same show. How awkward will that be?
Fight. Just kidding. I don't think it's awkward. It's a business. They're professional about it. I don't think the people who are going to be on the floor are going to be the people who are instigating the lawsuits. I don't think they're employees.
I will also be shocked.
Did you say instigating or fabricating? I didn't.
I will also be shocked if anybody if CIG is actually live there at E3.
Physically, yeah.
I think it'll be a pre-recorded video because that's what they did last time. So I don't think they'll be there, and it's not usually on the floor. They actually, last time did the PC Gamer Show, they did it in the theater across the street, and it was just a thing they did. So if it's on the actual show floor and all that, they've changed the format, and they might have brought it in and did that. but I don't know. I just think with the amount of space and stuff, it's usually looks like a little Tonight Show stage, like a one-on-one conversation, and they do some video clips, and that's it. It's usually not a big deal, but we'll see what they do this year. They could change it. Next question: what game mechanic other than scanning / ping would you like to see for the detection / e-war, such as proximity detectors, EMP, mines? We can place on beacons or the ground devices that can transmit back info. Uses could be for identifying outlaw bounty hunters or Vanduul for UE.
I'd love to see like mines and stuff. I hope they get those in the game eventually.
Oh yeah.
We talked a little bit earlier about e-war. I would like to see forms of e-war where you could jam things, where we could block, like we talked about the different ID tags and stuff with names.
Yep.
I would love to see all those type of mechanics in there over time. I don't know how much time or energy you're on the back. I'm not a game developer. I don't know how much effort that takes to do that. I would imagine a significant one to make a gameplay loop and counteracts and all that stuff for it. But I would love to see those things in there. I think that would be great. And I think there are already planned probably scouting missions for Vanduul and Bounty Hunter. I could totally see that. They actually had that stuff in Wing Commander. Go out here and run your patrol, see what happens. And it was like, oh shit, there's a bunch of bad guys there. Kalrathi, oh no! Yeah. There's space kitties. They're going to kill us all. So I think we could see that. Next question from Veclor says, similar to my last question, what are your thoughts on different drone roles, such as mining drone for scanning for resources or bounty hunting drone, similar to, I guess that's Star Wars Galaxies? Bounty hunting drone. I didn't get to play Star Wars Galaxy, so I don't know anything about a bounty hunting drone.
I don't remember the bounty hunting drones. That might have been the time I played.
I don't see bounty hunting drones being a thing specifically because they're going to want the risk to reward to be there. But I do see, I mean, maybe it'll happen, I don't know, but I could see bounty hunters using drones to investigate and get, like, let's say you land in a city, you know there's a guy here and you want to be able to like get a wider reach. So maybe you have a couple of drones that help you look for the person. I don't know, but I don't.
Is it like the Star Wars like interrogation drone?
Yeah,
one needle.
True serum.
It's like, what the hell is that big ball with it? It's like, what? We couldn't just get a guy to use a needle? What the hell?
Yeah. Like, you're gonna have the floating like droid. I know.
Floating droid from like Doctor Who come over and try to do that because that's what that looked like to me.
Yeah. It looks. Oh man.
Yep.
I don't know.
Very Doctor Who. Yeah, I think mining drones, scanning drones wouldn't be bad. I don't want drones to ever take over a role that's a full functioning player thing. And all the drones have to be like manually piloted, so some of those things are impractical.
Yeah, and I just think that your immersion goes down if you have to manually pilot a drone, and it's not as fun as being physically there with the full view of the glass and everything else. Then it's like, do you really want a game that encourages you not to see and experience everything?
Yeah, Cyber was saying the drone would just track someone down the way you send it out and would give a location. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to see people, you have to go to an agent in each area and kind of like talk to them like, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I get word that here. I actually like the mechanic in EVE Online, except I'd want it fleshed out more with actual physical AI, and drones might know what I'm talking about with this, where, you know, you go to a search agent to find another player, and they'll tell you if you have good rep with this agent, they'll give you more information or less. Like, oh, I know he's in this solar system. Or somebody that's a really high end, if you have a really good agent, it's like, oh, he's in this town, in this tavern, sitting on the bar stool on the left. He's right there, right now. But you still had to travel all the way there, and he might not be there when you got there.
Yeah.
So I like that. So it just depends on how much you had to pay him different amounts of money to do it, and it was those type of things. I like that, where it's more organic into the game for bounty hunting.
I agree, but I think you can want that organic into the game, but I also think there's room for a little bit of casting a wider net. You know what I mean? Like, and you could send out drones to find a person based on who knows what, right? But they might be masking their identity. So like, I don't know. Like we'll see how they balance it. And right now, I have no idea how you as a player are going to track down real human players. Yeah. Like, it just seems like it'll be way too difficult of a gameplay. So
that's why I just hope it's RNG with these agents and you build up rep. And they could be wrong. They could be entirely wrong. and you could just make it all sorts of different types of gameplay with that. But maybe you have to pull like 3 different agents to find somebody, just like you would a detective in real life would have to be like, I got to talk to all these different people and see, and then I'll get a better location. And if you're too slow at doing it, that person might get up and move. So if you're on the run and you sit somewhere too long, people will start to hone in on you, right, as a bounty hunter. But if you hop around a lot, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to find you. They just know you're in that area. See that. I like that.
Just need some same-day Amazon delivery drones in the game, and then we're good. If I'm on a freaking moon and I have, like, I got 15 seconds to live because I'm bleeding out in my legs and I need that medical pen, I would like a drone to just show up. Give me my medical pen.
Yeah. You're all good. Heals, bro, heals.
I don't like medical pens at all.
I don't generally either. I think they're temporary, aren't they? They're temporary, right? I don't know, like, long term what the medical play is going to be.
They're just all morphine, so you can keep running. You just think you're healed. You're not really healed at all.
I think right now it's a placeholder until they figure out medical play long term.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Maybe.
But I want, like, more in-depth medical stuff.
I think that there's room for both, though. I think you're going to need some sort of, like, I have to get them and hit them with the paddles, battlefield type thing, if you want that action gameplay in there. But at the same time, I want to see full surgery. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be fun. Vecler then asks, he says, for moons and planets that are rich in rare resources, but too dangerous by ship, do you think we'll see a new ground vehicle for mining that can take on dangerous environments?
That's a good guess. I would say probably.
Yeah, I would say quite possibly.
Yeah. If not, no, probably. Yeah, I don't see what else. I mean, you could have hand mining tools that you could do in any ship, but most likely you'd want something more robust that could carry the minerals and.
Well, I think you're going to want some sort of transport of some sort anyway, because like they keep talking about the prospector can mine on ground or in space, but the thing is, you have these cans, and the cans are ejectable cans, but after you eject them, what picks them up? Because they've never
drones.
They've never really talked.
Wait, you're talking about the prospector cans?
I am.
Yeah. They're supposed to fit on the hull series. That's what they're designed around.
The cans will?
Yeah, they're supposed to be picked up by like the little holes. They look pretty
small.
Yeah, they do look small.
They're supposed to fit in the whole series.
Well, unless they come up
with
the way
they marketed it originally.
I know, but they look a lot smaller than a whole series. Like.
Sure.
I don't know.
Maybe they stack 2. I don't know, 2 or 4.
And then you're going to fly the whole series down to a planet surface to pick them up. I mean, it makes sense in space.
Oh, yeah.
But what about on ground?
I don't think you're going to get them picked up from the ground. I think
but here, let me just walk you through this whole mining application. I'm a prospector. I'm on the ground. I'm going to mine this rock. Oh, my cans are full. I'm going to fly to space and eject the cans?
No.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just saying that was like the original.
And I get that gameplay loop of what they originally designed, but that's also been like 3 years ago.
Tier 0, though, I think you're going to be on the moon. You're going to be mining. You're going to be like, I'm full. You're going to fly to the nearest outpost. You're going to sell. It's going to be like you're not going to make as much money at the nearest outpost, but you'll make some money.
Which defeats the design of the prospector, to be fair.
No, I know. We're talking about Tier 0. Like right now.
Tier 0,
yeah. Long term, they'll have who knows what they'll do with it.
Well, because the cans don't even eject right now. I mean,
exactly. But right now, you're going to go to a rock, you're going to mine the rock, you're going to full of minerals, you're going to sell it. And instead of flying all the way back to Porto or Levski, where you're going to make more money, you just go back real quick so you can mine some more, right? You'll sell it at the local outpost, which is cool because that's how they'll probably replenish the minerals on outposts going forward. And then truckers who want to truck can go fly in, and you know what I mean? And then demand curves go up and down depending. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. I like to see a little ground truck. It's like a mini Argo with wheels that mines like the prospector on ground only, and it just has a really large storage area in the back, so it picks stuff up like a dump truck and just fills up.
But the problem with the ground miner vehicle is you're not going to have the range that you get in a ship, right? Like a prospector, you can like the whole planet is your oyster, and you can go mine the very choicest rocks and be like, I want that rock, that rock, that rock. The you know what I mean? The gold rocks or whatever it is, the widow. You can mine widow, right? Just kidding.
Yeah.
And all the rocks that got the best minerals in it. But if you have a ground vehicle, you really have to have a reason for it, and it's not going to be just like I'm going to take my ground vehicle out to go mining. Yeah. You probably will be like those really inhospitable places, because otherwise I can't. I don't see it coming out anytime soon.
It could hold a massive payload or something, like it's a big truck or something like that, where it could go and grind all these little rocks and do a path, and maybe it latches on. Maybe an Argo could pick it up, like Argo, it's like something like picks up the whole container and moves the whole truck. I don't know. There's all sorts of little ideas. It had to be pretty cheap too, because you're right. The range of what it would be different. Maybe it's the same price as like a Cyclone or something. You know what I mean? Like something small and cheap on the ground. Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Let's see. Counterculture 24 says, thank you. Well, you're welcome. I'm about 6 months away from being caught up on it with a Star Citizen news. Any news on how mining is coming along, and is there an ETA, or does anyone have the opinion for when we might see it implemented? Actually, there's a lot of news. Watch this week's ATV. And it's coming out with 3.2 first tier.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff. So you get to see it actually plowed through. If you didn't get to see some of the little video walkthrough earlier, that's the best resource I can give you. Next question is, for the few, how drunk will you get at the June 9th Bar Citizen in New York City?
I have no idea. I didn't drink that much last time. So it really just depends who's there, mood, all that jazz. So
totally flabbergasted. You won't remember any of
it. Exactly.
It's like that. Halo will have to drive them around.
Sorry, I want to take a quick break. People in chat are talking about the Blade and its price point, $250 or whatever that people originally backed. Like, that's I was always under the impression that it was priced higher from a backing perspective, purely because it's not as like it's like a light fighter, right, for the Van Duel, and I thought it was priced that way purely just to keep it rare. It's not supposed to be a ship that a lot of people have, and they wanted to have it like fairly rare in the game or whatever, and I thought it was just overpriced for what it is, only because they just don't want a lot of people to have it, right?
Like the Cartual.
Yeah.
It's super expensive. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, the Cartual isn't like some game-changing ship that wrecks you. It's just a cool alien spaceship, and that's why I like the Blade.
I think they price some of them high that you don't get very much tactically for, purely because, one, they want to make it available to people, raise some money for the game, and two, because they don't want everybody to have one, so they're trying to make it unattractive to some degree, I think. I don't know. Yep. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, I derailed us.
That's all right. We only got 2 quick questions anyway. They're pretty quick answers. No big deal. George asks, he says, what do you think CIG might do for E3? Well, I kind of said what I thought. Video.
Might do for what?
Yeah, you didn't read the whole
E3.
Question. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I have no idea.
They've already said that they're getting away from making their big presentations at these other things to making their big presentation at CitizenCon. They will have presence at all these little things, but it's more to just show the game, hey, get on the computers here and play it and take a look.
You know what I hope they do for E3? Reopen freaking CitizenCon tickets. Like,
wait, what? Sorry, what?
Like reopen CitizenCon tickets. What the hell do you take them off the market for?
Yeah, I mean, I only think that it would make sense to take them off the market if they're redesigning the sale in some way, or like, you know what I mean, whatever. But overall, yeah, it's a little weird to take them offline. So
dumb.
Yeah,
I've already had people ask me, "Well, I can't get tickets."
Yeah,
I'm like,
we know,
they're gonna. Don't worry, they'll re-release them. Okay.
Yeah. We personally know, I think, like 2 or 3 people that want to buy tickets right now but can't.
Right now.
And that's just the people we know. Who else is out there? Like,
Yep. People got their tax returns back and they got stuff back, and now they're thinking about it and they're like, well, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Put them out there, CIG. Come on, what are you doing? Any other thoughts, drones, on E3? Meh. Meh. Okay.
I know jack shit about E3, so all right. No real thoughts.
Counterculture 24. Final question. Says, what do you think about a mining ship that transforms into a ground vehicle?
Transformers.
It's kind of what the Prospector does right now.
Wow. I mean, what's the point, right? They've never done it with any other ship. I don't expect them to do that.
There has to be a reason. Now, if they had caves in the game or something, I would see that. Like, you'd have to put wheels on it and make it go down and do something. But right now, it's like you can just fly rock to rock.
Yeah, they do have cave planets in lore.
Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see a big reason to be honest. Not yet. I mean, if there's a reason, they need to get away from making things just to make things. They need to give a reason to make stuff now. Because the problem is they'll do anything. People are like, oh, they didn't make this turn into a fishing boat. Why? Like, I know that's cool, but why?
Yeah.
It's like, why don't they make a ship that like pukes out nebulas and just pumps gas out into space so it looks cool?
I feel like they aren't doing this, but I get the impression that a lot of times that they make ships that are cool, and then they have to make a gameplay or a problem for that ship to solve.
Yeah, like, they do it backwards.
Like wouldn't a bomber be cool that drops mother of all bombs on targets? And they're like, well, now how are we going to make the gameplay cool for that and all that jazz? So I think that we'll see. I like the idea of like, oh, players are having problems doing these kind of things. How are we going to make a ship to help solve that problem? That kind of sounds cool, but I think you have to have more gameplay before you can start doing that, right? So that's why they're kind of still inventing from the other side.
And like Vector says, military make all kind of weird stuff, get job done. Yes, but there's a job to be done before they make it. The military doesn't say, let's make a laser cannon that has a pinwheel on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there has to be a job to do, and then the military might find the most impractical way to do it, but they'll find a solution for a potential problem. I still feel like they're in the CIG's in the business of making cool ships, which is fine, but maybe it's time to put a little cool on the back burner and solve the gameplay loop issues, and then you can make more cool shit after you do some of the gameplay stuff. Just saying. All right, let's pull this raffle, guys, and let's wrap this show up so the few can go to bed.
Woohoo!
He's ready to do it. If you haven't entered yet, guys, we'll give you 2 minutes. ! Space Bros. Final thoughts, guys. Anything coming up you're looking forward to with the game besides the obvious, like 2.2?
Yeah.
I want to drool on that 600i.
Yeah, nope.
I'm going to do something all across that 600i, and I can't say it on the air.
Yeah, no, nothing I can think of.
Okay. All right, we'll get in there. You guys are crappy at filling time. 1 minute, 30 seconds.
You're welcome.
Well,
get in there.
Why don't you just give us a play-by-play of your raft game there, Dr. Drones?
No.
Now I'm on the water.
Apparently I found a bug and I'm actually stuck in my raft.
Now I'm on the water.
Probably going to die.
Now there's sharks.
Man.
Now I'm still on the water.
Oh, no, I got out by axing my way through it.
I will say, did you see the update to Sea of Thieves, like with the big shark they added thing, the beast thing?
I haven't seen it.
The Megalodon.
The Megalodon. They added in like the creatures
I've
of
heard
deep
of
stuff.
it, but I haven't seen it.
Somebody found it, and they actually put a video out there on it and stuff, and it's amazing. The guy shot himself out of one of the cannons across it, attacking another ship, and it's like you see this shark as big as the ship, like attacking. I'm like, oh my god! And it's like flies right across the. It looks pretty cool. So we might have to do our Sea of Thieves episode at some point just to go back and take a look at this thing, because it's pretty cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be fun. I would play that again.
Yeah, just for a weekend for a stream, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Look at everybody in chat. Yep, Megalodon's badass looking. Yep. I saw that clip and I was like, oh my god. All right, 10 seconds, guys. If you haven't entered, you're not going to get to. This is for the $10 hanger flare thing, which calculates out to, I guess, $10 gift card. I don't know why I said $10 hanger flare. It's an illusion. There is no such thing. Ha ha! Tricked you out. No. $10 gift card. Closing it down. Drawing a winner. Look at Alan on. Alan!
Holy crap, man.
He's been winning his butt off lately.
Crazy. Alan on.
So we'll hook him up. Make sure I spelled his name right.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Perfect. All right. I think we will save the other keys I got for tomorrow sometime. I can play a little Overload and do some stuff. That'd be a good thing. All right. And with that, guys, I think we're all wrapped up. Hang on. We're going to go raid somebody after this. But for us, I think this is the end of the show. So thank you, Toy. Thank you, Drones. Thank you, The Few, for staying up.
Thank you.
doing all the heavy lifting and trying to coordinate this whole deal and all that stuff. But we will see you guys all next week at 10-ish p.m. Friday for the next SpaceBros show. So have a good night, guys.
Right on time.
Yeah, always on time. Right when we were.
As always.
As always.
See no other way.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Night. See you there. What? Say what?
Hey, John Boy.
Not John. I don't remember the rest of it.
Good night. Somebody, I can't remember, but yeah.
I don't remember the people, all that stuff. Good night.
It's a long time ago. I used to hate that show, and now I just don't remember it.
See you later, guys.